What's good, Chad? How's everybody doing, man? It's good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. We're gonna have the sports podcast starting today. Episode 2 is gonna be out tomorrow after tonight. We're gonna have 50. I think Smooth may hop in. Just depends on how he's feeling. We're gonna go over all kinds of topics today. We're gonna go over the playoffs. We're gonna talk about MMA, and then probably end the pod with NFL, because we have a lot of NFL news to talk about, and we got a lot of basketball to talk about. So, with that, appreciate everybody coming through today. Appreciate watching the stream. Appreciate everybody watching the podcast. If you're new to this stream, if you're new to the YouTube channel, give the channel a follow or subscribe, and just keep on watching, man. Hopefully, y'all enjoy the episode. And here we fucking go. It's good, 50. How you doing, man? Can you hear me? 50, can you hear me? This motherfucker. Can you hear me? You having some technical. Can you hear me? Hello. I can't hear you. Hello? I cannot hear you. Change your mic. Change your mic. It might be your mic that's an issue. Should call. Hey, so change your input, and then it might be different. If not, you can just unplug the headphones. I don't know why, but man, weird. Okay. Um, leave this call, join back, and Yep, yeah. Just go to the same channel you went to, and I'll drag you. All right, bet. Sorry, chat. Sorry, chat. Sorry, chat. Sorry, chat. Give me 1 second, chat. 1 second. All right, can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yep.
Okay, sweet. Sweet. All right, can you still hear me?
Yep.
Okay, sweet. 50, what's going on, man? How you doing today, brother?
Hey man, we're doing good. Just got home from work. Got fed.
You got fed?
Yeah, we're fed. Ready to talk.
What was for dinner?
Makes me sound lazy, dude. I had a chicken patty and some tater tots.
Chicken patty. That sounds gas, low key. I had
Dude,
hibachi. I had chicken and steak hibachi food.
so I don't know Hy-Vee's in Kansas City. You guys have those? Okay, so
We got a bunch of them.
Hy-Vee's like a big supporter of the Chiefs. And so like they always like cereal boxes, Hy-Vee brand with like cheese stuff on there.
Yep.
And they had this sauce kit come out, dude. I bought 2 of them, one for collectible and one to use. But they're glass bottles, and like each bottle's got a different Kansas City Chiefs player on it.
Yeah,
dude.
Does it like go up in spice?
Well, there's 3 spicy barbecues and 3 hot sauces.
Ooh.
And the ghost pepper barbecue sauce is so fire, bro.
No bueno. No bueno. No bueno.
No, just like, dude, literally, I could show you. That's all I'll put on my plate because you just put a little tip in it. That's it.
Fair enough.
Good
man.
flavor. Definitely hot.
That's good. So we're gonna jump right into the talk that we're all gonna have today. We're gonna start off with the NBA playoffs. So I have been keeping up with kind of most of all the postseason so far. Really the only interesting series that I've been wanting to watch, like Boston and Atlanta, is kind of a really boring. We all know Boston's gonna win. I didn't watch the Nets series. I know the Nets got swept by the 76ers. Phoenix is up 3-1, I think, and Denver's up 3-1, and Boston is up 3-1. So 3 teams could go home tonight. Honestly, bro, if we're going to talk about basketball, before we talk about anything, the GOAT had 22 points and 20 rebounds on 1 turnover last night with 7 assists. The GOAT, LeBron motherfucking James, dude. He had a amazing night, and chat, he's 30 fucking 8. Now,
Didn't he have a couple? Didn't he have a couple blocks in there too last
yeah,
night?
he had, I believe last night, if I'm not mistaken, he had 2 blocks. I could be wrong. I'll look it up really quick. But I've been watching him. I think the NBA is doing really well. Like I feel like people actually want to watch basketball right now. When the basketball season's upon us, I usually kind of skim through the regular season because I don't feel like the regular season is really fun to watch. I think playoff basketball is really fun to watch because I feel like they all actually try. Um, and right now, we like last night was probably one of the best nights of basketball in at least a couple weeks. I mean, LeBron had 20 and 20. That's the first 20-20 game since 2004 for the Lakers. Um, and the last person to do that was Shaq. So if that tells you anything, that's a pretty crazy stat. Uh, and
That would
then
have been Shaq in his prime too.
yeah, it was Shaq's prime. I think it was Kobe and Shaq. I think it was the last like 2 years of Kobe and Shaq. But the thing, like we had LeBron's game last night. Jimmy Butler had 56 points last night on 68% shooting. Like
Jeez.
that's insane. And Milwaukee should not be down 3-1. They just shouldn't. They shouldn't. They should not be down 3-1. They're not. I think Milwaukee's a better team. I think Giannis getting hurt really screwed them over, and I think all the momentum is in Miami's court. But they do go home. Milwaukee goes home Wednesday, I believe, is when they play again. So we'll see, man. How into basketball are you, Aaron?
Uh, I mean, kind of like you said, I don't watch any regular season. I find it really boring, and the real reason for that is 82 games is just too many games. First of all,
The players want it to be shorter too.
you could start your season off 0-18, still end up the 3 seed in your playoffs by the end of the season. Like
Right.
it's just there's just I think it increases the risk for injuries for the players too, having such a long season. There's a lot of factors into that, and it's just hard to keep track for 82 games. I can't really say I'm into it enough where I have favorite team.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more of a favorite player kind of guy,
That
so
and
I like
that's
watching
fair.
certain players.
There's a lot of people out there like that. There really is. Like
You know,
I'm a Raptors fan, but I love LeBron James. You can't tell me otherwise. So wherever LeBron James goes, I don't care what anybody says in this chat or in the YouTube comments or nothing, man. Wherever LeBron James goes, I go. I cannot let my guy be without my fan. I can't do it. I have to be a fan.
well, if we got time, who would you say your top 3 most entertaining players to watch are?
Entertaining?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't even matter skill set wise.
Well, I mean, like, I guess not. No,
Well,
just
let
entertaining.
me rephrase that. Like it doesn't matter like if they're a top 5 player or not. Like it doesn't matter.
No,
Okay.
no.
I'd say all time my favorite player to watch was Derrick Rose in his prime.
Oh my,
Derrick Rose in his prime,
is
and like
unmatched.
watching Derrick Rose and LeBron play when they were both like really in their prime was really fun basketball to watch. I've never seen somebody jump like Derrick Rose did. I never saw somebody springs and legs like that, and it's really
That
unfortunate. It's really unfortunate that um that he had so many injuries. Like
yeah,
he had so many injuries. So I'd say Derrick Rose. I really love watching LeBron's play because we will never see another LeBron James in the entire
no.
lifespan that we're on this planet. Uh, and 3, if I strictly just wanted to watch like pure basketball, I would watch Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving is something different with the ball. I don't agree with everything that he says. You know,
One in
the
eight
man's
people have
Or
worked at a
this
McDonald's.
yeah,
man says some crazy stuff off whim, and that's fine. Everybody's got their beliefs. Uh, but I really enjoy watching. I really enjoyed watching him. Like he's awesome. He's awesome.
absolutely. I'd say my 3. Well, and back to what you said, Derrick Rose's energy, just his energy was unmatched by far.
Yeah, and it's
Um,
well, I don't. I think John Morant is a
yeah,
version of Derrick Rose, but with a better jump shot. But even though Memphis can't really hit threes, but we'll get on to that in a minute.
yeah. So I'd say my 3 is definitely like Giannis is just fun to watch.
That's
I
fair.
mean, he's
Well,
just so
Giannis is
dominant.
one of the most dominant players I've ever seen
Exactly.
touch a basketball.
Um, you know, never hurts to watch Chef Curry cook.
That's fair.
because I
Somebody
mean, if you
somebody in the
really
chat
ever
said
pay
Steph.
attention, nobody runs the court like Curry. That man's
I don't I
constantly
don't
moving,
I personally
constantly
don't
moving.
want to, like, if I was a point guard in the NBA and I was getting ready to play Warriors and you told me I had to guard Steph, I'm gonna tell you I'm gonna guard Clay. Somebody else.
Curry does so much running, dude.
Yeah,
So much running.
my fat ass is not gonna get out there and run
And
all
this
over you.
year,
No.
so just entertaining wise, I found it kind of entertaining to watch Dylan Brooks just because he's a little problem starter for sure.
You liked watching Dylan Brooks? That's
What?
fun.
What? You didn't like him trying to get underneath LeBron's skin was a little entertaining because
Listen,
nobody gets under LeBron's skins. Nobody.
that's fair. I don't. The thing is
I think he's a trash player,
yeah,
but
Dylan Brooks said he poked a bear, but the thing is, the bear that he poked was not your average like bear. You know what I'm saying?
no, no, not at all.
It's more or less, it's kind of like the Klay Thompson thing. Not really Klay Thompson thing because it was different
Yeah,
levels
yeah,
of intensity, but you know, when Klay when they were down 3-1 and Klay, you know, said some silly remark to LeBron James, it was over. It was over with. Over with.
yeah.
So I just feel like these, like, the younger players, you know, a lot of them say they don't fear LeBron James, and that's fine. You know, he's old. You know, you're not gonna sit here and say you fear a 38-year-old man. You know, but the
They
thing
should
is,
definitely put some respect though.
yeah, but the thing is he's 38 years old playing like he's 29, 30 years old. I don't know how he
Yeah,
does it.
absolutely,
The man's a some type of athlete we'll probably never see again. He's the goat in my book. That's the goat to me.
absolutely.
I think it goes LeBron James, Michael Jordan, and then I think the third best player all time was probably probably what's his name? Wilt Chamberlain. If it's not Wilt Chamberlain, then I'll go Shaq because we'll never see another Shaq in our lifetime.
Nope.
Um, so to go into more basketball, we're going to talk about the Kings in the Warriors series. So the Kings are up 2-0. It looked like everything was going really good. I am not a fan of the Warriors. Steph Curry is fun to watch because more or less he changed the game of basketball. You know, it wasn't really 3-point heavy oriented. It wasn't anything like that. And then all of a sudden, this little kid from Davidson came out and was popping threes from fucking half court like it was a fucking 2-pointer. So, you know, best shooter all time. I think the Kings being up 2-0 was really good for the Kings, but you know they had to go back to uh, the Warriors' home court, and they just, you know, the first game I didn't really watch the first game, but I know the second game De'Aaron Fox played really well. I think he had like 35, if I'm not mistaken, and he actually hurt it. He fractured his like index finger on his shooting hand. And he's gonna play Game 5, which is great. Need to play, but I really hope the Kings win. But if we're gonna be honest with you, if I'm gonna be honest with you, uh, them not having a healthy De'Aaron Fox does hurt. But more or less, is it gonna? I can rely on De'Aaron Fox to at least play some type of defense. I still think the Kings have a shot, but it's gonna be real hard. It's gonna be really hard. I think it's going to be a really good series. I think that's the most interesting series left, like, to watch, really, because everybody's kind of up, either 3-1 or 2-2 so far. I think the Warriors series is the only 2-2 series. So, um, the only shock is the Miami Heat being up 3-1 on the Bucks. But how do you feel about the Kings? Do you think they're gonna win the series? Do you think the Warriors take it?
Man, there's just so many things that come down to it in basketball. That's a crazy thing
It's
because
a
it comes down to just one person having a bad game can lose the game.
That's true. That's true.
You know, and
I think it's more or less uh the Warriors are such a team oriented basketball team. Like, Curry can drop 30 and Clay will drop 15 and there's no issue with it. As long as Clay was playing
exactly
defense, you know what I mean? Like,
that
when the Warriors are all like that, it's over with. I think they're one of the hardest teams to stop. But at the same time, this year they've been very stoppable. And the Kings
Yeah.
are the only team that really gave them a lot of trouble. It's just really unfortunate De'Aaron Fox is hurt.
Well, what it comes down to, like you said, if De'Aaron Fox is playing, De'Aaron Fox does have some solid defense. The big question is who's going to step up to take those shots. So
I don't know if I'm. I mean, you could say Malik Monk. He's been playing really well. Demonte Sabonis has played really well. They have players. Like that's the thing. Like they have extra
yeah,
players. It's just De'Aaron Fox is, the main key of that offense so far. It's him and Demonte Sabonis. It's 1-2 pick and roll, all that, and it's that simple, really. Like I think they can still win it, but I won't be surprised if the Warriors win it. You know what I mean? I
exactly.
don't
They
want the
always
Warriors
find a
to.
way.
Yeah,
It's
I don't want the Warriors to win because if the Lakers win on Wednesday, they have to play whoever plays the Kings, whoever wins the Kings Warriors series. I would
and you'd
very,
rather watch the Lakers play the Kings
I would,
than
well, I would,
the Warriors.
I would rather watch the Kings play the Lakers because the Lakers are a little bit bigger than the Kings. So,
Yeah.
the only real person you kind of have to worry about is De'Aaron Fox, and if De'Aaron Fox isn't fully healthy, so be it. It's really unfortunate, but he's playing with a fractured finger. There's a lot of guys out here that won't play with a sore throat. So, props to him. Hopefully they get it, and they go from there.
Well,
Um,
back
go ahead, go ahead.
that Lakers and Kings matchup, though, I think there'll be a lot of fun in that. D'Lo and De'Aaron Fox will be a great matchup.
It'll be
I
fun.
really think so.
It'll be fun. To actually go into the Lakers, we're going to talk about the Lakers right now. So last night, Lakers won 117 to 111 at home in overtime. Uh, LeBron James put on a very crazy performance for being 38 fucking years old. Um, you know, I only got to watch the fourth quarter because I was at work, but from what I saw, um, Tillman was really playing great defense on LeBron James. And you could tell like at first it was kind of rattling. Like the whole first half they kind of had it, and then the Grizzlies went on a run in the second quarter with like I think 2 minutes left. They went on like a 13-1 run. Um, and so I think it was tied going into half, or I think the Lakers were up like 1 or 2. I could be wrong. Um, but that whole second half, I didn't watch the third quarter, but the fourth quarter is kind of back and forth. And if we're gonna be honest, if we're gonna talk about who really was the savior last night of the Lakers game, it's D'Angelo Russell. That motherfucker hit 3 threes in a row, got them back into um enough enough uh enough point range to at least get them to possibly win or tie it up at least. And then he fouled out, and then LeBron James took it from there. Um, but if we're gonna be honest, LeBron James had a great game, like an amazing game. He did not shoot well from three. He was 1 for 7 from three, but he had 22 points, 20 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 blocks, and 1 turnover. 1 turnover is the biggest part about that because usually LeBron, if he has a really good stat line, he usually has like 4 or 5 turnovers. It's kind of unfortunate, but it's just a part of the game. Um, the biggest issue I had with last night is Anthony Davis disappearing the entire fucking game. The entire fucking game. AD only had 12 points, 42 minutes, and 5 of those points came in overtime. So they came at the right time, but LeBron James, who's 38 years old and I think 4 inches shorter than you, had more rebounds than you. You know what I mean?
Crazy.
And there's times during the Lakers game, like during that whole fourth quarter, and it may have just been because it was fourth quarter, but like AD looked really gassed. He did not look like he wanted to be out there. Every time he falls, you think he's done. It's the scariest. It's the scariest thing in the world. But truly, D'Lo was the one we should all be thanking for us to get the win because
Great pickup.
it was a great
Great
pickup.
pickup by the Lakers.
I think the best pickup, and it has been showing, is Rui Hachimura. There is something about when Rui Hachimura is on the court, it's just lights out. Rui Hachimura is averaging 18 points off the bench in the playoffs. Off I think like 57% shooting, like field goal range. Hold on a second.
Not to sound dumb or anything,
What's up?
but what is his like actual like assigned position?
So
Because I know he kind of switches.
yeah, so Rui Hachimura is he's a power forward, but he's 6'8", so I think they switch him back and forth. But I think he can probably cover the first four positions. I think that,
Because he's a pretty quick 6'8" too.
yeah, and what's crazy is when he was on the Wizards, it wasn't that he was a bad player. It's just the Wizards are not a good organization. It's constant.
No,
It's just
it's not
constant
good for anybody.
belittling. But
You
he's
know, and
he's go ahead.
I was gonna say shout out to oh my god, his name slipped my name.
Bradley.
Beasley.
Oh, Beasley.
Bradley Beal. No, Bradley Beal.
Bradley Beal.
Poor guy. I love to see him somewhere else because he is.
He could have went to the Lakers, but he decided to take his bag, and I respect it. I ain't gonna sit here and tell
You
somebody not to
know,
go get their bag.
exactly.
But Rui Hachimura is shooting 58% from the field. But the best part about all this is he's shooting 62.5% from three, dog. From three, and he's
That's
not.
that.
He only
That's
averages
got to
maybe one
be
turnover.
that's got to be probably the highest percentage in the playoffs right now.
If
It's got to be pretty
it's
close.
at least top three, and it's got to be at least one or two. I don't think it'll be three. Um, I think the Lakers are in a good spot. It's really a question of you go back to Memphis. I think you've rattled Memphis enough to where they're done. You can really see it on the bench, like it's over with. Um, I wouldn't be surprised if Memphis pulls it out because it's in Memphis, and LA wants to win in LA, whatever. But I wouldn't let Memphis get another game. Fuck that.
Con-
Do not let them get another game. There's no point.
con- Controversial statement right here. Kind of back to your AD disappearing type thing. Um, he's so injury prone now, and he's got a lot of or unproductive games here and there.
He's a
You
very
know,
he's become very inconsistent when he shouldn't be.
well, I was gonna say it would have been a lot cheaper to pay Dwight Howard to stay on the team because that's one guy you would have had consistent defense and consistent rebounds all day long.
Uh, as a backup center, yes. The only issue that I have so far, like with players not playing, is Darvin Ham, which is the Lakers head coach, is not um playing Mo Bamba. So we have AD and he's playing the five. He doesn't really want to play the five. So then when AD's out, they go small ball, and I think it's Jared Vanderbilt or somebody. I can't remember who else plays center. But why are we not putting Mo Bamba out there just to give you like 9-10 minutes? Just let AD just cool down for a minute. You know what I mean? But the same.
That'd give him some size back out there too, which would help LeBron because Obama, young, healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Why is he not out there?
I think it's. I don't think it's Darvin Ham trying to make a point. I think it's kind of maybe Darvin Ham knows something we don't. Who knows? I think it's more or less they're gonna keep him for next year. Because if you play the Warriors or the Kings, so both of the teams have solid big men. Obviously, Demonte Sabonis is a little bit better than Kevin Looney. Kevin Looney's just big as shit, and he can block shots. And he'll give you maybe 10 points on a solid night. But Demonte Sabonis passes the ball. He moves the ball. He's the ball handler. You know what I'm saying? So, I think it's more. I just either way, the Lakers match up. Whoever they match up with, I think their chances are well. But it all lands on how Anthony Davis plays. Anthony Davis stay
Exactly.
healthy. Is Anthony Davis going to give me 12 points and 10 rebounds again in a game one? I don't need that in game one. I need that never. Don't play like that. You know what I'm saying? There's just no there's for some reason I don't think 80's like hurt. I think it's all up here. I think something is getting to him, telling him to maybe not jump this high or don't plant my feet this way or don't jerk this way or don't move this way too fast. I think it's all I genuinely think it's all in his head. I think it's all in his head. Because when AD is like playing so what we want him to be or like where we thought the standards were, it's insane. He's the best big man in the league and there's nobody touching it. It's Anthony Davis and that it's nobody else. You know what I mean? So it's sad because this is who the team was supposed to be molded after. Because Braun ain't supposed to be the guy anymore. Braun's supposed to be two because he's 30 fucking 8 years old. He does not. He should not be dropping 20 points, 20 rebounds, and 7 assists. You are 7'1". Go get a goddamn rebound. Go in the paint. Go play bully ball. You're big as hell. If you're that afraid of playing the five, then you need to really evaluate how you want to play the rest of your career, in my opinion. If you don't want to play the
Correct.
five, then what's if you play the four, you're too big. So you just want to. All they're gonna do is switch. So you're still gonna play centers. That you'll get power forwards out on the 3-point line, but after that, you're gonna either get switched or they're going to um, double team you, and then you're gonna get fouled, and then you might get hurt. It's a toss up. So it's really more or less play ball, get through injuries, or play piss poor and be inconsistent. I don't want it to be that way. I would love to see AD and Bron at least get one, but do not, as a LeBron James fan, the disrespect that he takes on a daily basis. Do not let LeBron James get 5 rings, or y'all are gonna hear every bit of nonsense out of my mouth, and it'll be all over this podcast. All over this podcast. Do not let LeBron James get 5 rings, or y'all are gonna have a merciless time watching my podcast. That's it. That's it. That, that,
Agreed.
the Lakers are in a good spot if they keep playing the way they're playing. Also, Dennis Schroeder's played really well. I talk a lot of shit on Dennis Schroeder. I've on Twitter. I'm sorry, Dennis Schroeder. You shut me up sometimes, but there are times where you be bullshitting. But that doesn't matter. Uh, you know,
Keep up the good work, Dennis.
yeah, keep up the good work. You're a little too fast sometimes, but it's okay. They got a lot of good young players. I think they're in good hands. I think they can make a run, but it's going to be very hard because you still have Phoenix, you still got Golden State, and you still have my brain is Denver. Still have Denver. So the West is not easy by all means. I'm not going to say the Lakers are coming out of the West because they're probably not. It's realistically either Denver or Phoenix. If the Lakers come out of the West, it is out of like craziness. Like we've never seen something like that before. Like that type of run where they make it look too easy, or they're not wiping the floor with teams, but they're making them look bad, and it's not even a competition anymore. So
So, Suns are in the West, right?
yes, Suns are in the
The
West.
West side. Yeah, that's just that team, man.
Yes,
Whew.
Kevin, and I'm a fan of Kevin Durant's game. I'm not a fan of the way he's treated his career. I think he's a hopper,
A ring chaser.
which is fine. I understand being a ring chaser when you're really old, like you're past your prime. You just want one or two. You're not
But
gonna
the
get
man's already got what,
four.
3, 4?
No, it's three. Sorry, three.
Because he's got 2 with Golden and
He's got three with Golden State.
3 with Golden State. Yeah, they're all with Golden State.
Yeah, he's gone to 2 different organizations and it didn't work. He's gone to the Nets. That didn't work. The Golden State Warriors worked until Draymond couldn't keep his mouth shut and ruined that team for the rest of the year. I don't know. Phoenix is really good. It's not just Kevin Durant. You got Devin Booker. You got Chris Paul. It's a tough.
And Devin Booker's another one of those exceptional talents in the league too.
Yeah, he's averaging like
When
30.
that man
He's averaging
when that man
34
goes
points
off,
right
he
now.
goes off.
Yeah, he's averaging 34 points right now in the playoffs. Jimmy Butler is only ahead of him. I think he's averaging 36.
Yeah. Jimmy Butler's playing pretty well.
Yes, Jimmy Butler is playing really well, and I think that's the last time we're going to talk about when it comes to basketball is the Miami Heat game. So, last night the Miami Heat played the Bucks. Was a crazy game, an actual crazy game. I didn't get to watch the whole game. I only saw the end. I did watch highlights today though, and I got the box score in front of me. So Giannis played 38 minutes and had 26 points. You're gonna expect at least a double-double from Giannis, if not a triple-double for some reason, because he's just, you know,
A freak.
an absolute freak with a basketball in his hands. What you can't have is Chris Middleton going 4 for 12 from the field and only having 14 points. Brook Lopez was the second best scorer last night.
Really?
Yes, he had 30. He had 36 points, which is actually kind of nuts. I didn't know that.
How much?
He had 36 last night. I did not know
Oh
that.
boy.
Yeah. So
Drew probably had quite a few dishes though, didn't he?
Drew Holiday had 4 assists.
That's it?
Yeah, Giannis had a triple double last night. Giannis had a triple double last night. He had 26, 10, and 13, but he had 6 turnovers. Bad. That's not good. Um, Jimmy Butler. So this is how crazy Jimmy Butler's stat line is, and how much he had to carry this team last night. So Jimmy Butler had 56 points, was 15 and 18 from the free throw line. He had 9 rebounds, 2 assists, and he was 3 for 8 from three, but he was 19 and 28 from the field. He shot 68% from the field with 56 points. It's fucking nuts. And he only had 1 turnover. But you have Kevin Love, who I'm guessing is I'm guessing just out there. They don't really have anybody else to put at power forward. So he played 22 minutes, only scored 6 points. You know, he had 7 rebounds and 2 assists, so more power to him. At least he contributed. Bam Adebayo went 6 for 16. Not his best game. Bam Adebayo has been really quiet this whole series. It's really actually unfortunate because I don't want Bam Adebayo to be ass, but he is playing ass. He had 15 points, 3 turnovers, 2 assists, and 8 rees. And he played 30 minutes. And then Gary Vincent, I'm guessing that's Gary Vincent. Gary Vincent? Gabe Vincent. Sorry, I apologize. Which is running point guard, which I don't watch a lot of Heat basketball, so I don't even know who this is. He was 4 for 13, 8 assists though, 2 steals, 5 turnovers. Holy shit. Uh, and then Struss only shot once and had 2 turnovers. So you got no scoring from your point guard. You got 10 points from your point guard. But that's it. But he dished the ball, so he did his job. Your shooting guard didn't do shit. Duncan Robinson. Sorry, I'm thinking about football. Duncan Robinson played 30 minutes off the bench and only had 9 points. And then Highsmith only had 3 points. Cody Martin had 12. Cody Zeller had 2, and Kyle Lowry had 6. That is absolutely insane because the team just didn't. The team just didn't show up last night. Jimmy Butler showed up last night. Himmy
Yeah,
Butler.
that's what it definitely sounds like.
Himmy Butler.
Definitely carried.
He had, and what's crazy, he made like I think 2 threes in a row, and they were both step. They were just disgusting shots. I did not think they were
That
going in.
sequence back to back. They missed that shot, got the rebound, ran. Yeah, I seen that sequence on Snapchat on ESPN. Man, it
was
looked pretty
nuts.
nice.
It was nuts. It was absolutely nuts. Yeah. So,
I,
do you think the Heat take it away? You think because the Heat are up 3-1, and they're going back to Milwaukee. Milwaukee could steal that game and then go back to Miami and possibly make it 3-3 to try and go to Game 7.
I hope so. Like I said, I do kind of enjoy watching the Bucks mainly because of Giannis, and I've said this many times before. Giannis needs help. Middleton's good. He's a good player, but he's just too inconsistent. Kind of like AD.
Mm-hmm.
Great player when he plays, not very consistent.
Well,
I think
Chris
they could definitely trade a pick and Middleton and go try to go get somebody, man. But Giannis needs help. I think Drew does a great job though. Drew may not always have the best offensive game, but you can always count on Drew playing good defense.
Oh yeah, Drew Holiday will give you decent minutes regardless.
Yes.
It doesn't. If he's good on offense and defense, it's a solid night. But if he's just giving you defense, I'll take that. You don't have to be dropping 30 points every night, and I would prefer that. But um, that's not how it's gonna go. Chris Middleton is good. He's like you said, he's inconsistent, which he is, and it's gotten like he's not super inconsistent every year, but it's getting worse progressively. Like he gets hurt, or it's just not good play. But Chris Middleton is a solid 2 to Giannis because he's a 3-and-D guy. It's just the
Exactly.
it's just the consistency that's not showing. Brook Lopez should not have 36 points. He should not be the leading scorer for the Bucks. He just shouldn't be. But if Brook Lopez is eating up Bam Adebayo and making Bam Adebayo look absolutely not good, then so be it. You'll take it. But you expect Giannis to have double digits. I don't expect Brook Lopez to have 36 points, maybe like 15 to 20. I expect Chris Middleton to probably have like 20.
And and
They have a
expect
like. Go ahead.
and
Sorry.
expect Drew for at least 15.
Yeah,
Like
and
he's got to get in there.
they have a solid lineup. I just don't feel like their bench is deep enough for me. Milwaukee can still come out of the East, but in my opinion, I have Boston coming out of the East. If anybody, it'll be between Boston.
Yeah,
It'll be between
I
Boston
think
and Philly.
I definitely think it's Boston's turn to get to the chip, man. Definitely, Jason Tatum deserves it. Marcus Smart, Jalen Brown. That's a really good backcourt.
Oh yeah, it's more.
I I think it's arguably one of the best backcourts in the league right now.
I'd say
But
defensively, yes.
and uh, other than that, I definitely agree that it's definitely looking like the Heat's taking it,
Mm-hmm.
but what
All
can
the
happen?
all the momentum's there, man. If Jimmy Butler can drop me another, if he can drop 30, and everybody else at least play their part, they can win on Wednesday. They really can, and it'll be actually really. I think honestly, if Milwaukee loses to Miami on Wednesday, they will blow. They're gonna blow this team up just a little bit. I think they move on from Chris Middleton. You talk about possibly moving Drew Holiday if the move is right, but I don't think they will move off of him. If they trade Chris Middleton, I say they trade Grayson Allen after. But it won't be like the Grayson Allen trade won't be big, but the Chris Middleton trade, I'd say they get a pick or they swap a player. So
Yeah,
they'll probably go younger, somebody that has a little bit more upside, because Giannis isn't very old. But how long is his prime gonna be? I'm sure he wants to win. Obviously, he talks about it all the time. So I think they'll be okay. But like I said, if the Bucks really do lose on Wednesday, they are going to blow it up. Not
before we move,
sorry, go ahead.
oh, you go ahead and finish. Mine was kind of like an ending for the NBA.
Um, for like I said, they'll blow it up, but I don't think it'll be like a huge blow up. I don't think it'll be something that's like hugely overdone. I think it'll just be a simple player swap or a pick and a player, and then Grayson Allen will probably be a pick trade.
Yeah, I agree. Before we move on from NBA, is there a team or two teams or whatever in the league you that aren't in the playoffs that you want to see in there next year? I know for me, I definitely like to see Charlotte in the playoffs. I'm a big
I don't.
fan of LaMelo, dude. Fun to
I
watch.
I think I don't know. There's a lot of teams that have a lot of young talent. Like I can see why you say Charlotte. I just don't think Charlotte has it. I don't think
They're missing a few pieces. They are.
I don't think they're gonna build around Lamelo. I think Lamelo's gonna leave. Probably go somewhere where he can make more money, at least win some games. Um,
Yeah, and I know there's some teams out there that would definitely play LaMelo.
oh yeah,
Definitely pay the bag.
and he just needs to stay healthy. That's really all he needs
Yeah,
to do, and that's kind of been his issue. So hopefully
that
he
man's
stays
just so
healthy.
small, though. That man's got no padding on his body at all. He's just.
He's got to put
I
some
mean, he's
muscle on.
tall. He's just very
He's lengthy.
small.
He's just lengthy.
Yeah.
But I think a young team that I do look forward to watching come up. Um, I really do watch. I really do enjoy watching John Morant play basketball. It's
Yes.
really fun. Even though they're playing the Lakers, it is fun to watch. The motherfucker literally jumps out of a gym. He can't. He can. He should work on a shot a little bit more. But other than that, like it's either Memphis or it's Detroit. Should be good within the next couple of years because Detroit just tanked. They just flat out tanked, and
Hey,
they're gonna.
Levi.
What's up?
Do you know the John Morant story at all?
Which one?
That man was not even on an organized basketball team when scouts started seeing him.
Oh
The
yeah,
scouts
I
went to his
believe
high
it.
school. The scouts went to his high school to watch a game.
Mm-hmm.
They had a whole nother like gym,
Mm-hmm.
and they went in there because they heard some ruckus, or whatever, and it was just a bunch of guys like just playing pickup ball, messing around. And yeah,
That's funny. I actually never knew that. I never knew that
yeah,
at all.
I was watching. It was on sports or like that Snapchat. You know how they have ESPN
Yep.
and like
Yep.
all kinds of stories and stuff. And I watch all that stuff. He wasn't even playing organized basketball when he was found, by scouts. So
Really?
just in the second gym after high school playing pick-up game with his homies.
Huh. I've I never knew that actually. I'm dead ass. I never
And
heard that story.
when they first found him, he did not have a three at all, which still his 3 point is definitely underdeveloped, but his athleticism is unmatched in the league right now for sure.
Oh yeah. I think they're in good hands. I think
Yep.
I think the league in general is in good hands. I wish the Mavs would play a little bit better. I think Luca needs to really change his game. I think he needs to play defense and stop complaining so much, and then he'll be all right. Other than that, Luca is supposed to be the next guy. So
Well, this might be controversial.
take
Sorry,
dude.
especially since you're
It's a hot take, dude.
uh, 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 a Kyrie fan, but I don't think Luca likes sharing the spotlight with Kyrie. I don't.
I don't think Kyrie likes sharing
No,
with
neither one of them do,
I
and
don't.
I think that's messing up team chemistry just a little bit because if they were on the same page, dude, they'd be like the Suns, man. They really
Wait,
would. They'd be
they both don't play defense. So if your
yeah.
backcourt ain't playing defense, what you know what I'm saying? What are we gonna do? I think personally, I think Kyrie Irving just got traded to the Mavs to get out of the Nets, and
yeah.
then he has an off season. He's a free agent this off season. If the Lakers have money to spend, I'm sure LeBron will think and probably tell Rob Pelinka to at least entertain the idea of giving me Kyrie back.
It's
If you give
crazy
me Kyrie
because
Irving and LeBron James and Anthony Davis, all healthy and all no drama bullshit, that team's going deep, deep. And
well,
that's if you keep it's if you sign Kyrie Irving and you keep Austin Reeves. If you manage to do that, you're a fucking genius. You're a genius. You're a fucking genius.
well, and like back in the Cavs time, they really didn't have a dominant big man when LeBron and Kyrie were together. I mean,
Nah.
they had Jarrett Allen, who's just more defensive. He's not a
Well,
huge
they
offensive
didn't have
player.
Jared Allen. They had Tristan Thompson, who didn't
Oh,
give
you're
you any.
right.
They didn't
They
give
didn't
you any
have
offense.
Jarrett yet.
They had Kevin Love though. They did have Kevin
Yeah.
Love, but he wasn't. He's not a dominant big man. He's a outside the
No,
post.
and Tristan Thompson was definitely overrated for sure.
I mean, he played good
He,
defense. It's really, but it
yeah.
was very rare.
But with those three together and, GM LeBron, because he, he do be making the moves, it'd be
It'd be
really fun to
interesting.
see.
It would be interesting. It would be
Yep.
interesting. The off season will be fun. I look forward to talking about that a little bit more. We're gonna hop into MMA. I know you're not like fully invested in MMA, which is fine.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Um, we're not gonna talk about it very long. Uh, we'll just talk about the last pay per view. We won't talk about the fight nights for right now.
Is that the boxing one? Was that
No,
the Ryan
the last
Garcia
pay per
tank?
view we're gonna talk about was MMA. So it was the Adesanya Pereira.
Okay.
It was the Adesanya Pereira
Yep.
one. So if you didn't
Uh,
watch it,
you run
it's
the
okay.
show. I'll sit here and listen.
So we're obviously pretty far out from this fight happening already. It was a great card all around. The UFC 287. It was actually a solid. I watched it from start to finish. I watched the prelims and everything, and the early prelims. Early prelims were cool. Had some like crazy fights in the prelims. Were actually really good. The Kevin Gastelum fight was really good, and then there was another prelim fight. I can't remember off the top of my head. I think it was this one. It was the Pfeiffer and Mearshart. I can't remember. I can't say his last name. Sorry, I forgot your name wrong. And then so we get into the main card, which is we're going to talk about not in too much detail. We're going to talk about certain fights that I enjoyed watching. Um, the first fight of the whole card was Rosas versus Rodriguez, and Rosas looked like he was a fish out of water, brand new. Um, Rodriguez kind of put it to him. He's young. He's not. He's 18, so he's got a lot of time. And he's still 7-1. You can still build on that. I think having a young contender is good. Or a young person that you could possibly hope to build into a contender is good. I just think he's too young at the moment, so I don't think that loss hurts him. Um, you build
Definitely
on,
makes him hungry, though.
yeah,
Definitely makes him hungry.
you build on it, and then you go from there. I think he has a lot
Yeah.
of potential. I think he can be a good fighter. Then you had the Kevin Holland and Panzini Ebio. I'm so bad with names. Uh,
Uh,
Kevin Holland is one of my favorite fighters to watch because it's like he's playing with his food and he talks to you the whole time and he's you know trying to banter and then he's trying to make you laugh. It's all probably a mind game. But he's fun to watch. Kevin Holland, when he takes fighting seriously, he does well. Um, I feel like Kevin Holland's one of those guys that's going to stay in like the 10-5, like the 10-5 range, keep fighting, and then he'll get to a certain spot, come back down, build himself back up, come back down. I don't think he has very many fights left. I think he's gonna call it quits here soon. The Rob Font fight was actually super fun to watch. Wasn't too crazy. Um, Rob Font won by KO. It was a good fight. Um, he landed a lot of strikes actually, a lot more than the Giannis guy did. So it's overall the first part of the card was really good. And then you get to the Gilbert Burns and Jorge Masvidal fight. That was one of the most boring fights I've seen in a while. I understand, Gilbert Burns is a up and coming fighter. Like he's gonna be really good. He's gonna fight for a belt here soon, I'm sure. Um, Jorge Masvidal is on his last legs. I'm glad he retired. I'm not a fan of Jorge, but I don't like it when people go out on a loss. But it happens. He's old. It's time to call it. Gilbert Burns just out wrestled him the whole time. It was mostly a ground game, and it was a really boring fight. It was a unanimous decision. It wasn't the fight I'd want to see Jorge Masvidal go out on. I figured they just stand and bang and go from there. But more power to him. Shout out to Gilbert Burns, and he moves up. And you know, I don't know who he's going to fight next, but we will talk about that in just a second. And then we get to the Izzy and Pereira fight. This is a very nerve-wracking fight because I'm a very hardcore Izzy fan. I love watching him. He brought a certain type of image to MMA, and I think he brought a good fight. He brings not a good fight, but he brings a good light, and he's the guy that brings in more people to watch. I feel like he just has a certain personality that can reach people that UFC didn't originally start trying to reach. So I think he's good for the sport. Um, there was when the knockout happened, when Pereira just started attacking him, and Adesanya said that like he was like pretending to get hurt or he was pretending, basically hiding and pretending that he was getting hit with these shots, and then all of a sudden he hits him overhead with a overhead right, and then he bounces off the cage again and does it again, and I'm telling you guys, I absolutely lost it. I lost it because I was so nervous watching this fight because if Izzy lost again, I don't know what Izzy does. Does Izzy move up? Does Izzy go down? It was nerve wracking, but thankfully he won. And it was sick as fuck. It was a good ending to that pay per view. I don't think the pay per view was like one of the best, but it was one of the better ones that we got. And I guess Gilbert Burns is fighting Bilal Muhammad in 2 weeks, so that's a great fight. Uh, I'll take Gilbert Burns, but I will not be surprised if Bilal Muhammad wins because that motherfucker is a good fighter.
Levi,
Hmm,
real quick. Actually, I just remembered I did watch a pay per view not terribly long ago.
okay.
And that is one fighter I definitely would watch again because I did enjoy watching him, even though the fight was pretty short because of the incident that happened.
Mm-hmm.
But Dustin Poirier was fun to watch.
Okay.
You're not a Poirier fan?
I
I don't know who's
so
good or not,
no
but
no. So he's a great fighter. He's got heavy fucking hands. That
yeah.
motherfucker can hit you with some bricks. He put my guy down. Okay, so like I can't.
Oh,
You
you're
know
a
what I'm saying.
McGregor fan?
I but
I mean, that second fight was shitty though about
McGregor had it
how that
coming. Yeah,
happened,
and it's really unfortunate how it happened. You
how he
know.
broke his ankle. Because I would have obviously, after spending $60 just to watch that
Oh,
fight and it
dude,
lasts like 2 minutes was definitely a little disappointing.
I watched that fight with Cryptid, my like Daniel. It's all hometown friends, bro.
Yeah.
And I have never seen Brandon that mad in my life, dude. Oh my god, my Brandon was mad. I was mad. Dakota was mad. Like we were fucking livid.
Well, my
And then like he starts talking for some reason. Why is Joe Rogan getting on his ass to interview somebody that just broke their fucking leg in half? Like, what are we doing?
yeah.
Like,
That made me
Joe
wild
Rogan's a goofy.
sometimes.
Joe Rogan's a goofy guy.
I would not be in the mood to talk to
Hell
nobody.
no! I just broke my fucking leg. I don't want to talk to you. The fuck? I want to go to the
uh,
hospital. So
well, my sister's baby daddy, soon to be fiance, he's really big into MMA, so we were watching it down at his house one night, and that's about the only time I watch fights is when he rents one, and I'm over there. Just I'm not really there for the fights. I'm usually there for the free beer. Yeah,
that's
but
fair. That's
I
fair.
I'm there and I'm watching. So Dustin Poirier and the McGregor fight was actually the last UFC fight that I've watched. Then before that, I didn't really watch much UFC except for when I was growing up, when my dad was big into watching it. So
Mm-hmm.
like when I was younger, and like the two biggest names that I can think of growing up watching was like Chuck Liddell, and then I remember like Forrest Griffin a little bit, and that's about it though.
I didn't pay $60, thankfully, but Brandon did, and I felt bad. So, uh,
uh,
yeah, that card was really good to watch. I genuinely enjoyed it. That was the first time I ever watched a UFC card from beginning to end. It's like fucking 5 hours. Like it's a
is it
long.
really?
Oh, it's a long fucking time.
Whew.
A long fucking time.
The
And
prelims are free though, right?
yeah,
You can
so it's
watch the prelims up until pay per view.
Yeah, so you can watch everything up until pay per view. It's on ESPN
Yeah.
Plus. Um, I'm gonna give 3 fights that I do want to see. One fight is already scheduled to happen. We don't know when it's actually going to happen, and that's McGregor versus Chandler. I don't want to say this, but it's probably going to happen. Say McGregor wins, Dana White will probably give him a title shot because it's money. It's just a whole money grab, which is fine. I'm sure Connor's not going to say no, and somebody else, whoever the champion he's going to fight ain't going to say no. So
I got to pitch this in though. How much you think McGregor's got left in the tank? Because his last couple fights have been a struggle for him.
he's lost.
You
He's
know,
lost the last, I think, 3 or 4 in a row. Um, the thing is Connor has nothing left to prove. He will go down.
exactly.
He'll go down as one of the best ever. And you know, Carlton and I agree on this. You, he's gotten to a point where he doesn't have to fight. He doesn't
No,
have to.
but
He's
but
doing it.
it's
He's
the
doing it.
bag.
Yeah, it's money, and he's over. He's worth over like almost $1 billion. Like it's a lot of fucking money, and you know I think he comes back. If he wins against Michael Chandler, he goes on a little run. I don't know if it's championship. I don't know if it's championship. It probably isn't a championship. But I say if he goes on a little run, that's the last little run that we get. That's the last little stint of Conor McGregor we get left, and then he'll move on with his life and be an actor or whatever he's wanting to do. Um, but the Conor Chandler fight is going to be really good. It's a good fight. Michael Chandler is a good fighter. He's a great wrestler. He's got some power behind his punches. It's more or less if can Conor McGregor come out and be confident on that foot? Can he throw leg kicks and be confident and not be scared? Can he check a leg kick and not be scared that his shit's gonna snap? So it's it's scary because I we watched somebody that was all the way at the top get all the way to a point where he's not even ranked anymore. So I think the Chandler fight will be good for him. It's going to be coming after the Tough show, the Ultimate Fighter show. So They're the captains. I'm looking forward to watching that. Um, and then the second fight I would like to see, um, which I'm pretty sure is going to happen, is John Jones versus um, just Pavlovich. He just beat Curtis Blades with a KO. Well, I think it was a TKO, but it may have been a KO. That guy is a monster. I don't think he beats John, but I think he gives John a run for his money. I think
John's
Curtis.
getting old, isn't he? That
Yeah,
name is familiar to me
yeah.
too.
John Jones. But he's the goat. John Jones is the fucking goat. Period.
Exactly.
Um, this man had been gone for 3 years and walked into a UFC ring, not not being in one for 3 years, and beat Cyril Gahn in a minute and 30 seconds. The man took 3 years off and made somebody that was a champion look like he didn't belong in there. John Jones is ahead of everybody. We'll never get another John Jones, I don't think. Um, if it's not Pavlovich, you know, Curtis Blades can give him a run for his money as well. He's really good wrestling. But so does John Jones. So it'll be a good fight. I still think John Jones wins. I'm saying for the Pavlovich fight, like I said, John Jones wins, but Pavlovich, yeah, Pavlovich, Pavlovic, let's say that, gives him a run for his money. Sorry if I get your name wrong, dude. Uh, and then the last fight I want to see is Sean O'Malley, versus fucking, what the fuck is his name? Second. I want to see Sean O'Malley fight, where the fuck? Where's he at, dude? I can't remember who he's gonna fight. I think I just want to. Honestly, I just want to see Sean O'Malley fight again. Like I genuinely just want to see him fight again because it's really fucking, really fucking fun watching him. I don't want to watch him. I do not want to watch Henry Cejudo fight again. An Aljo fight may be fun to watch. I think honestly, Sean O'Malley fights one more time, and if he wins, he gets a shot. I could be wrong.
Do not make fun of me for this, but it is MMA related because there is talks he might be getting an MMA fight soon.
Mm.
You already know where I'm going, don't you?
If you're gonna talk about Jake Paul, listen,
Yeah.
listen. I don't have a problem with Jake Paul. Like I don't like
He's
him.
definitely entertaining though.
I don't like him as a person. But I don't hate him. But people gotta understand this motherfucker can actually box, but
yeah.
it's very amateur. Like Tyson Fury went in there and threw a right jab and a right hook, I think 40 plus times. He threw the most basic shit, and it was fucking Jake up. So, you know,
It makes you wonder because I don't think Tommy Fury put everything in it
or not Tyson Fury,
at
Tommy
all.
Fury.
Definitely just a money case for both of them. They put on, the show to get everybody's attention because,
I don't think it was. I don't think it was rigged. I think.
you don't think so?
No, I don't think. You gotta understand, it takes so much to rig fights or sports in general, bro. Like it takes a lot. There's a lot of people on the outside. Then you gotta get the middleman on the inside. Then you gotta get the people on the inside to agree to all of it. You can't fucking rehearse a fucking like you can, but it's hard. So
I
don't-
just kind of expected Jake to lose a little worse than he did to someone who's really been
well,
professionally boxing.
I don't
So
think Tommy Fury put all his stuff out there, and
no, I do
knows.
not.
I think he knows that, and I think Jake knows that. Now, Jake in the UFC ring might be a little bit different because
Him and Logan did grow up wrestling too,
yes,
so
and
he does have years of wrestling.
they were all state wrestlers.
Exactly.
So I'm not saying Jake can make it in the UFC, but
he'll put on a show. So
it's a good marketing idea. Now, if he boxes Nate Diaz, I don't. Nate Diaz should not be fighting anymore. Nate Diaz is a couple hits away from being a veggie, and it's bad. And I think he actually just got in trouble. So I think Jake is good for boxing. I don't think Jake is good for MMA, but Jake is good for boxing because boxing is a very dead sport. It's a very dying sport.
And
So
it brings people back
yeah,
and money back into the sport, and that's always good.
yeah. So I can, and like I said, I don't have a problem with him. I can respect it. Obviously, like I don't have the nuts to go in a UFC ring or a boxing ring because I don't really care. You know what I mean? So more power to him. He means well in the sport. He just talks too much.
Yeah, and like I said, I know it wouldn't be a great fight or necessary. I'm not saying it's not going to be a great fight or a good fight, but I'm just ready to see what happens just for the entertainment because it's always entertaining to watch these fights.
Oh yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
they're just fun. So
Um, we're gonna end off the MMA part with my top 5 MMA fighters right now. So right now, for me personally, I'm gonna put John Jones as one. I'm gonna put
which
Volkanovski. I'm gonna put
he's
Volkanovski
probably
as one.
top five all time too, isn't he?
John Jones is the goat. He's the best fighter we've ever seen. The best fighter I've ever seen. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Number two,
Number two is Volkanovski. Volkanovski is a dog. That man is nothing short of one of the best pound for pound fighters. And then you got Izzy, who I think is the best middleweight of all time. And then third for me is Leon Edwards. I really like Leon Edwards. I was the only few people rooting for him in the last two fights against Usman. So shout out to my guy, motherfucking Leon Edwards. And then for the fifth, for the fifth, right now I really enjoy watching. Yeah, gotta find him. I really like watching. Yeah, I'm trying to look for his name. Sorry, I have to see a face. Not good with names. I really like Max Holloway too. Max Holloway just actually fought in KC, so and KC showed up for that whole fight night, like that whole fight night. Like people were showing up in early prelims, and it was full. It was full by like mid actual prelims. Like it was insane how much people enjoyed going there. I really hope they bring it back. Um, People seem to love it. So those are my top 5 fighters. It's gonna, fifth is a toss up, but this top four is that there's nothing stopping me from changing it. And now we get to go into the best part, and this is gonna be the last portion of the podcast. We're gonna talk about the NFL. So we're gonna
my
talk.
specialty.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about the off season and how it's gone. Oh, your camera went off for some reason.
Yeah, I know my PlayStation went in the rest mode and it turned off my light. It's coming.
Um, we're gonna talk about the NFL. We're gonna talk about the off season so far. So I love the NFL offseason. It's one of my favorite things to talk about because I fucking love football. I love talking about football. So
Absolutely.
we'll start with the fresh news. Aaron Rodgers gets traded to the Jets. I think personally the Jets got fleeced, but they got a quarterback. They have a top 5 defense who's really young, and now Aaron Rodgers has young weapons. It, they're a contender, but I think they're a pretender as well. But I do think they can beat Buffalo because I feel like Buffalo got worse. Buffalo, I felt like got worse because their defense is not as good anymore. Their defense is hurt all the time, or players just aren't stepping up.
Hot take. I don't think Stefon Diggs wants to be there anymore either. There's been signs of, definitely the chemistry between him and Josh Allen struggling.
I don't think it's. I
There's
don't
been
think it's.
those
I think it's
there's
on a
been
thin
those
line.
tweets though.
I think
Yeah.
it's. I think it's thin. I think it's starting to thin out because Stephon Diggs just wants to win. That's all he wants to
Yeah.
do. So and
And
you
poor guy
saw
was
it.
stuck in Minnesota.
Yeah.
And,
And
I thought the minute he went to Buffalo, you and I are both Chiefs fans. I thought I was a little worried for us, and they did take us out that one year, but
it's more. It's. I don't know. So
I think as of right now, us and the Bengals definitely own
the AFC
AFC. So 100%.
respectfully fuck the Bengals.
Yeah.
But so Aaron Rodgers goes to the Jets. I feel like the Jets got fleeced. Packers have Jordan Love. We haven't seen a lot of Jordan Love, so But
He
from
didn't look terrible when he played against us. But the question is, are the Packers going to run with it, or are they going to take those picks and go get somebody?
well, the
Because they
pick,
could go straight up too.
they didn't they only I think the Packers they went up 2 spots from 15 to 13. So uh, I don't think
They could definitely have a chance for Will Levis that
they're gonna. I don't think they draft
can,
a quarterback. I think they're gonna
can
go. I think they'll go offense, but I don't think it'll be quarterback.
wide receivers then because
It'll probably be a wide receiver. It most likely will because Chris. So you got they have Christian Watson, who's actually pretty good.
he developed late last year.
Mm-hmm.
Was looking really good.
Yeah.
Definitely became the primary weapon for him.
Yeah. So I feel like if you give Jordan Love another receiver, you gotta draft some O linemen because that O line's pretty. They get hurt a lot. The Packers are in like a good spot future wise, but it's more or less we all have to see how Jordan Love is. Because
You know,
if Jordan Love is dog shit, then that trade looks really bad.
are we gonna discuss the other big move this year too? OBJ to the Ravens, but what's happening with Lamar?
Oh. Oh man. Oh
That's
man. Ah.
because
See now this
if
is where
Lamar if
this is
Lamar plays, if
this is
Lamar plays, it can make him a contender.
this is oh.
But if he don't play and they trade him for picks in the draft, like I don't
I
know.
don't so here's the thing. So
The future is so unclear for the Ravens right now. It's
so this is a great topic of conversation for me because I'm not a Ravens fan. Obviously, Carlton lived with me and we would have arguments about the Ravens. Carlton will
oh
tell you
yep,
hand up and down that Lamar Jackson is in the same tier as Patrick Mahomes. That's a whole
which is
different.
hilarious.
It's
We've
it's
had that conversation too multiple times.
it's a like it's a valid conversation. Like it's valid, but at the same time, it's Patrick Mahomes and it's kind of everybody else
Well,
because that's just how it is.
when you argue with Carlton brings up 1 year. Lamar only had the one good year, and that was his MVP year.
And that was a great year.
And all his other years were mediocre. Yes, he runs the ball great. So he looks good on paper for running, but those mediocre years, he was not a quarterback, man. He was a great running back. Great running back those years.
Well, I don't think so.
Average quarterback, though.
I
He
think
wasn't.
I think hit the the stereotype of the type of quarterback he is. He can throw a ball. Like he can zip it. It's just the system that he's in. They don't do it.
Exactly. And they need to.
the guy that was calling the offense. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he's a fucking bad offensive coordinator, and
Yes.
you could tell like the last 2 years how bad it is. Um, but you know, with the whole Lamar situation, if I'm gonna be honest with you, if I'm gonna be completely honest with you, so Lamar wants $250 million guaranteed. Okay,
What now? What did Jalen just get? Because Jalen did just break
Jalen got
Patrick
170.
Mahomes' record for highest paid.
Yeah, so Jalen got $179.5 million guaranteed. So they
Yeah, that's outrageous. Lamar's asking for more than that by
not
another.
necessarily like you think
You,
that's
you
crazy.
think he's worth 250?
Deshaun Watson just got $250 million fully guaranteed.
See,
And that is a
he's not
man. That's a man that's done some not great things. So,
and played like shit last year too.
well, I mean, he was suspended for fucking 14 games. I don't expect you to come out and be lights the fuck out. I expect it to be rusty. I think next year, I think it's gonna be better. Now, I'm not saying the Browns are gonna be, top tier, but they'll put up fights. Now, if Deshaun Watson gets like weapons, like a weapon or two, it might be a solid team. Now the AFC North, it has the Bengals, Ravens, Steelers, and the Browns. I don't think the Ravens are the best team in their division. I think it's the Bengals, and then the Ravens, and then the Browns and the Steelers. The Steelers and the Browns will probably fight for 3 and 4, unless Kenny Pickett just somehow starts shredding defenses, which I don't think will happen.
He needs
Um,
some receivers though. He does.
they've got
He
good
needs some
receivers.
help.
They traded Claypool, but I think they draft. They're really good at drafting wide receivers. I don't know
They
why,
are.
but Tomlin's really good at finding them. I'm sorry, but as much as I love Odell Beckham Jr., Man is 30 years old off 2 ACL tears.
Yep.
So I know like Carlson say if he came to the Chiefs I'd be excited. I didn't even want Odell
No,
because
because he wants too much money for what he's worth now.
so in more power to him for getting his money by all means. More power to him. I'm not gonna tell somebody to not go get their bag, but the reason we didn't sign him is because we're not gonna give $18 million to a 30-year-old wide receiver who just came off 2 ACL tears. Like
Uh,
I'm not giving $18 million. I'll give you 4, and you can
well,
prove it.
and keep in mind what we're sitting on right now in KC. We got 10 picks for this year's draft. We have 10 of them.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
So we got room to play around with receivers. I know for our to-do list, because I definitely stay on top of what we're doing. Really the only big move that we have left to do on our to-do list that needs to be done this year is an extension for Chris Jones.
I think we get it done next year, or we get it done right before the season starts. Brett Veach is usually, when it comes to contracts, like extending people, if unless it's like just to start a free agency, he usually waits till after the draft because he wants to make
And
sure he has money for all those picks, and then I want to make sure I
exactly.
have money for you.
And
Also, the
another
Jets got
thing,
like 50-something million dollars in cap today. Like, or actually
who
40.
did?
The Jets got $45 million+ in cap space today because they transitioned part of Aaron Rodgers' contract into a fucking fat ass signing bonus. So not only did they just
Um,
get Aaron Rodgers, but they got $40+ million in cap space freed up.
and another thing for us is we are amazing. Like uncomparable to any other team about picking late round wide receivers. But Cole Hardman, late round, turned out to be great. You know,
Let Brett
we're
Veach.
we're good at finding those, secret people that nobody really knows that turn out to be pretty good for us, pretty productive. So I'm not worried about us not performing well in the draft because we
I don't.
do every year.
I.
And
Brett.
another big thing for us is our offense because we are a little expensive.
Huh.
But they do so well taking pay cuts to make sure we keep the team together. No disrespect to Tyreek, he had to go chase his bag, like you said. We're not going to tell you go chase your bag, but he could have went and got a ring if he would have taken less. Just like Travis Kelsey gets his
You,
contract restructured just about every 2 years because he wants to stay.
well, what's crazy is so when the
and
Tyreek
and
Hill.
we do a lot of incentives.
Oh yeah.
So
When Tyreek Hill got traded, I was like, damn. And then I thought about it, and I was like, well, now the offense changes. Nobody knows how we're going to run the offense now. They all know it's going to go to Travis because that's going to happen every game. But outside of Travis, we don't. They didn't. Nobody knew what the fuck was going on.
and
Nobody expected Isaiah Pacheco at first.
to be great.
Well, I
And I'm hoping
I
he's going to be our starter for sure, but I think we definitely need to do something with Clyde. Not pay him
yeah. So
because between Pacheco and McKinnon,
mhm.
we don't need Clyde. We don't. Pacheco
Well,
does such a great job running the ball aggressively. McKinnon's great catching the ball out of the backfield, finding space. We're set in the backfield.
I think
It's
so. I kept up on Isaiah Pacheco when he got drafted because I was really interested because he had great combine stats. He you know, just felt he just wasn't with the top tier. And running backs are very
they're hit or
the
miss in the league.
well, no,
They might
it's
do
a
amazing in
descending
college and then unproductive.
it's a descending position. Like it's becoming less and less like important. Like you don't need a great running back to run an offense anymore. Like because a lot of teams don't run the ball anymore. A lot of teams don't run the ball a lot anymore. So I think Pacheco is great. Like I love Pacheco. I think we get rid of Clyde. I have no hate towards Clyde. I think he played well when he was healthy, but he also made a lot of mistakes, and I just think he's too small. Motherfucker is
Yeah,
5'8", and I just don't think he fits in the offense. I don't
and
think.
and don't forget, we still got Kadarius Toney too, which I think is a really good wide receiver, great option. Didn't ask for a lot of money.
Yeah, so
He'll be a great. He'll probably be what wide receiver 2? You think?
no, they have him one. They're gonna
Yeah.
so
Between
he
him and Kelsey, they're going to be getting a lot of the ball.
well
So
the thing is Kadarius Toney has to stay healthy. That's the only thing that's really an issue. But you know he ended
arguably one of the best route runners in the league right now,
he
too.
ended
That
he
man's
ended
crazy.
he ended the year on a good stride. So
Yes, he did.
let's keep it that way. You know what I mean?
Shout out to Juju, for the 1 year, contract. But
And
he was productive for
Juju,
what we need.
yeah,
We signed
Juju.
him up just to have some help, and he did what he needed to do. He came in, got some touchdowns, definitely with some help in the Super Bowl.
Well,
Um,
the thing is, I don't think Juju was like an actual one. Yes, he can play a
no,
one, but he's a bona fide like like a top two number two receiver on a team.
yeah,
And I would have been cool re-signing him, but not for $33 million.
exactly.
And but more power to him. I hope he does well in the Patriots. He was fun to watch when he was
He
playing.
was he's definitely needed there too.
Oh yeah.
Patriots are in some trouble with some wide receivers. So
Um, I think you know with the Ravens issue, all that move was with the Odell move. It was a desperation move. They're like, oh my god, like he wants $250 million guaranteed, and we only offer him like 130. So let's give him a wide receiver who, on paper sounds great, but he's been fucking hurt the last 2 years, and he's 30 fucking years old. Like, you know, coming off two ACL tears in the same fucking knee is an issue. It was a
yep.
desperation move. I am not paying $18 million for Odell. Now, if Odell just absolutely shocks the fucking world and becomes the Odell we want and know, more power to him.
Props to you.
I
Exactly.
still do not see the fucking Ravens doing
Well,
anything. I don't.
just like the Chiefs had one, and I'm sure you're gonna know exactly who I'm talking about once I explain it. We had a really, really good player, tore his ACL multiple times. Definitely was worth paying for somebody, but the Chiefs were smart, man. We're not gonna pay somebody who's so injury
I
prone.
think I know who you're talking about. I can't
Jamal Charles, man.
remember. Oh yeah. Well, Jamal
What
was on the
what was
last.
great?
Jamal was on the last end. So I think, and he said
Loved
he
watching
was
him play.
yeah he said like he was totally okay, like not resigning. Like he's like, I know I'm on the last part, like it's fine. And he's a legend, man. I love Jamal Charles. If we had Jamal Charles in this offense now, it'd
Oh,
be
that'd
disgusting.
be yeah.
Be
Well,
disgusting.
and one thing I did not or one thing I didn't like about the Chiefs that we've done recently is what we did to Eric Berry. I definitely feel like kind of did him dirty.
I don't think we did Eric Berry dirty. I think Eric Berry understands. It's a business at the end of the day.
He will. I definitely see Eric Berry retiring his jersey with us someday, though, for
Oh
sure.
yeah, he'll probably be in.
Not very often do you see a player get cancer and then gain weight during chemo and even get healthier and stronger while in the
Yeah,
process of doing chemo and come back and play a great game first game back.
I met him when he was going through his cancer treatment. Solid dude, man. Solid fucking guy. I was really young though. I was like fucking 14, 15. Um, you know, when like this free agency was actually, it wasn't like super nuts, but it had some moments. So,
Yeah,
you got Jalen Ramsey going to the Dolphins. Obviously, it makes the Dolphins better. I think Jalen Ramsey is a little overrated. Motherfucker gets beat a little bit too much for my liking, but when he's on top of his game, best corner in the league. But they also have two great corners. They have they have
Xavier Howard.
yeah, Xavier Howard, and then I almost said Rhodes. That motherfucker, I don't even think he's in the league anymore. And then Jalen Ramsey. So you got two. You have possibly two of the top five best corners in the league.
They have a decent safety too. What's his name? Couldn't think for.
It's
They have a pretty decent.
Holland. It's something Holland.
Yep, he's
Yeah.
not a bad safety either.
No,
So
he's a good receiver. He's good. He's a good safety. Uh, Obviously the big ones, Aaron Rodgers. They also added Allen Lazard, Cole fucking Hardman. Like their wide receiver group's really good. You know, the Ravens. You go to the Ravens off season. They got fucking worse, and then all they did was sign backups. They signed one starter, and we don't even know if that starter is going to play more than 6 or 7 games. You know what I mean? So and
The future of the Ravens this year is just so dark right now. You can't see it because it all comes down to
if
what Lamar
if a
does
Lamar trade happens, it happens on draft night. It happens on draft night.
for picks too.
It'll either be
100%.
for picks or it'll be picks and a swap, a big player swap.
Yep. Carlton mentioned to me the other day, kind of like you was saying too, is something about he mentioned the Chiefs interested in DeAndre Hopkins, and I told him, I'm like, I hope not.
I
Definitely.
would. I'm not gonna say no because
No, I wouldn't either.
We need a one. We just need a solid. Like Travis Kelce is the one. I understand. He's 34 years old. He can't be the one for fucking ever. You know what I mean?
Well,
So
and DeAndre Hopkins isn't young either, and
no, by all means,
is kind of injury prone as well. And I love D Hop, love watching D Hop play, but for the amount of money he wants, depending
well, he
if
said
he
he doesn't
came
want to
down.
raise. He does not want to raise. He
See,
tweeted. He tweeted himself.
I would be okay with that then for sure because he may not be overall a top 5 wide receiver right now because everybody's just crazy right now. But I will rank him number 1 in the league in one thing. I think he's got the best hands in the league, softest touch. I really do.
It's valid. I'm not gonna say no to DeAndre Hopkins, but I don't want it to be overcompensated. Like if the
exactly. I don't want
if
it
the
to
Chiefs were
jeopardize our cap space
if the
and
Chiefs
where our money goes.
if the Chiefs were like, hey, we'll give you a third either this year or next year for DeAndre Hopkins, just straight up. I'm okay with that. I'll take a third. Listen, we don't know if a third round pick is gonna be good. You never fucking know. So
You know,
why would
we
you?
could even give them if we traded for him this year. We could even give him a third because this would sound
or you could
sweeter
just swap.
and wouldn't even be overcompensated because we have 2 picks in round 4, 5, and 6. We have 2 picks in all of those rounds. We could even fuck around and give him 2. Huh?
Said let Veach cook.
Yeah, he could definitely make some moves with that because we got 2 and 4, 5, and 6. We have 1 in the 7, and obviously we have a first round pick too at number 31. So
Brett Veach is usually really active on day 2 and 3. He's usually really he's making a lot of calls. If I'm gonna be honest with you, I think the Chiefs trade up from 31. I don't know who
I
they
do
trade
too.
up. I don't know who they trade up with, but if we're gonna trade up, I either want to go get Zay Flowers or Quentin Jefferson. That's all I want.
See, I believe that we will trade up for a defensive player on the line because we have to replace.
And that's fine. That's valid.
Exactly. We have to replace. So who was it?
Naughty.
We didn't sign. We didn't sign Naughty.
Yeah, we re-signed him.
Then was it Dana?
It was a vet minimum. Mike Dana's still there, so we didn't re-sign Frank Clark, and we didn't re-sign.
Yes.
Like
we got to replace Frank Clark. That's what they're gonna go for.
Well, George Karlaftis is the.
He's solid, dude.
Yeah,
had a great first year.
We signed.
I was well with how he performed.
We signed a guy from the 49ers. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. I guess we'll just talk about the Chiefs free agency, and then talk about any more. I guess another big move that happened was where the fuck is that, dude?
Who are you looking for?
I'm trying to remember off the top of my head.
Well, I had.
Derek Carr. Derek Carr. So
yes,
Derek Carr got cut from the Raiders and he went to the Saints. I think it's an upgrade over Jameis. I really wanted Jameis to do well, man. That guy, the baller when he wants to be. He can play really well. He just has these little bad spurts. Derek Carr doesn't put them over the edge. Their defense is really good, but you know they have
he's got his weapons again.
Yeah, he's got weapons. So they may be good. They may be. I don't find Derek Carr elite. I don't.
Well,
I don't think Derek Carr is gonna take me far into the playoffs.
I believe take Derek Carr back to the Raiders. He has Devontae Adams. Take back the DWI crash from Henry Ruggs. Okay? Take it back. Never got in trouble. I think Derek Carr, with him being a mid-level quarterback but having that much athleticism, I think he would have done very well with Henry Ruggs and Devontae Adams. Because he's a great pocket passer. He's just, doesn't.
It is what
with only one wide receiver with great route running and great catching, it makes it hard to do things.
Yeah, it does. I don't think Derek Carr's bad.
No, at
I'm not
all.
gonna put him like he's a solid average quarterback. He's a better Jimmy Garoppolo. If that makes sense.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So, and the Raiders signed Jimmy Garoppolo. And we'll talk about it a little bit later. Um, but I don't think it does anything. I'm not. Listen, man.
I don't.
We'll get into it in a second. But Stephon Gilmore went to the Cowboys. That's a fucking huge
Yep.
pickup. So did Brandon Cooks.
So Stephon Gilmore and Trayvon Diggs on the outside for the Cowboys will be a hard team to pass against.
Stephon Gilmore is old though, so let's not forget about this. He's like 32, 33. So he can be your two. Trayvon, I'm not going to say no to Stephon Gilmore being my two and Trayvon Diggs being my one.
Exactly. And you got Micah Parsons putting the pressure on the quarterbacks all day long too.
Yeah.
That means exceptional.
The Giants got Darren Waller. They took tight end out of our division. I still consider him a top 5 tight end. When he's healthy, that motherfucker is a dog.
Yep.
Wait,
you put him top 5?
Top 5 tight ends in the league? Oh, yeah, because there's not really a lot of good tight ends. So I got Travis, George, Mark Andrews. You could say. I don't know if say that.
See, you want my opinion? And
I'll
this
put,
might.
If he's in my top 5, but he's 5, if that makes
Lions.
sense.
I'll give you a hint. Lions. Well, I guess he's not on the Lions anymore. Vikings tight end.
Vikings.
Remember, it came from the Lions.
Oh, Hawkinson. You're talking about Hawkinson, yeah.
TJ.
Hawkinson's 4. Hawkinson has a lot of potential. Hawkinson can ball.
And I would say Noah Fant is up there with the right quarterback in like 6 or 7. Definitely.
There's just not a lot of good tight ends anymore.
Do you know what George Kittle, TJ Hawkinson, and Noah Fant all have in common?
They went to Iowa.
Yep, my favorite college, man. I'm a Hawkeye fan.
So obviously Giants got better. I don't think Daniel Jones is it. Paid him way too much fucking money.
Yeah.
The Eagles got better, and they may get even more better. There's a chance that there's a trade on draft day again, and they might get motherfucking Derrick Henry, and that'll just be unfucking fair. The Washington Commanders got sold, so that's good. Dan Snyder should have never owned a franchise in his life. The guy is a piece of garbage. They won't be good. I'm not expecting the Commanders to be good. Honestly, I think they have a bad year. Ron Rivera gets fired, and then that's when Eric Bieniemy finally gets a fucking head coach job. So,
and I'm gonna miss that guy for sure. Eric Bieniemy
definitely
deserves a head coaching position. Definitely.
Yeah,
he is such a great OC, man. Such a great one.
I have a lot of love. I got a lot of love for Eric Bieniemy, but I am very excited to see fucking Patrick Mahomes and fuck is his name? He was the Bears head coach for a while.
Oh, Nagy.
Yes.
Is it Nagy?
Yeah. So Nagy was our OC right before Patrick Mahomes came in here.
Yeah.
So he was there the last year of Alex's tenure. Then he went to the Bears.
Which is when Nagy took over as our OC. That's when we actually started making playoff runs too with Alex Smith. Yeah. Like we were always in the playoffs.
Nagy is a good. I don't think Nagy had a lot of good things in Chicago.
Yeah.
The motherfucker just didn't have a quarterback. You cannot, and it's unfortunate, but I think he learned a lot from it. So personally for me, he is going to be the next guy when Andy is done. And I think that's what they're setting it up for. I don't think Andy has a lot more years left. He's like 70-something. Go home, relax. You have nothing else to prove, dude. You're a top 3 coach all time. It does not matter. You got 2 of them bitches now. You got 2 of them things now, so they can't tell you shit. So
he's got 3.
Oh yeah, he has 3. Sorry, because he won with Green Bay.
Because he's got 1 with the Eagles and then 2 with us.
Well, he got 1 with Green Bay, not the Eagles. Never won a Super Bowl, which is actually crazy. I never knew that.
He did go to a Super Bowl.
He went to a Super Bowl, but he lost.
He didn't win it. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think they were playing the Patriots. And the Patriots beat him. That was when Terrell Owens had a broken fucking shin, and he dropped almost 200 fucking yards on a broken shin.
That's crazy.
The Bears.
I can't even picture myself running with a shin splint, bro.
Fuck no. Chicago Bears got DJ Moore, gave Justin Fields some help. I think the Bears are going to be a lot better next year.
And they still have Darnell Mooney, who I think is pretty decent.
Well, they have DJ Moore, Darnell Mooney, and Chase Claypool. good receiver core, a solid
And
young
Young.
receiving core. Yeah,
Yep.
and then they got Tremaine Edmonds, which is a great pickup, solid linebacker. They did lose David Montgomery, but I think they're going to draft a running back, or they have one in house that they really like. I can't remember off the top of my head.
He's new from last year.
Yeah, I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
He
He's
was
really good
actually
though.
pretty decent
Yeah, he
on
was good.
fantasy too. He was.
I think, and they have a lot of fucking picks, bro, and a lot of money. They got a lot of money for the next coming years. So I think they're in good hands. It's all on Justin Fields now. They gave you all your weapons and they gave you your line. It's on you now. So I
You
think this
know,
I think it's the year that Justin Fields makes it or breaks it.
I didn't want Derek Carr to go to the Niners, though. I really didn't.
To the
Back to
Niners?
this. Yeah.
Well, he went to the Saints.
Oh, Saints. Yeah. So I don't want the Niners to draft a quarterback. Period.
They
I
won't
don't.
draft one. They're not going to. They're really
I want Brock Purdy. I want Brock Purdy to start, man. I think he deserves it for sure. I think he's still got some more development, more to prove. As an Iowa fan, we hate Iowa State, but he's from Iowa, so definitely that's a big deal for me. So he came out, he really balled out, dude, in the playoffs.
he played well.
Dude beat Tom Brady, man. Rookie beat Tom Brady. It was the first time Tom Brady had ever lost to a rookie.
People also have to understand that the 49ers defense was insane, and it's going to be insane for a long time. But
and it's just only gonna be better this year.
Brock Purdy earned that position, but the thing is you traded in a lot of fucking shit to pick Trey Lance. So it would make you, as an organization or a front office, look really bad if you traded all that shit for a first round pick and he doesn't see the field. Now,
but
it's great that you hit
trade
the
away Lance for picks back and/or another position.
But realistically,
because they can pay Brock Purdy so much cheaper.
But
realistically,
what are teams going to give for Trey Lance? He just got hurt. We don't know what Trey Lance plays like. He hasn't played a full season of football in 3 fucking years. Like, we have no fucking clue what Trey Lance looks like. So I don't think they're gonna trade him. I don't think they draft a quarterback. I think they're gonna wait for Trey and Purdy to get healthy, and then I bet in training camp it's just gonna be a QB comp. We'll see who comes out on top.
Brock just gonna go with Trey Lance no matter what, and then once he fucks up mid-season, it'll be all right. Bye. Come on, Brock.
And the thing is, it's like Kyle Shanahan is in a position. Guy's a genius, and this man played 2 rookie quarterbacks and made it to an NFC championship. So, it's kind of nutty. I don't think it's NFC championship. Sorry, it's the game right before the NFC championship, divisional. That's still fucking nuts. Like, that's not.
And they lost to the Eagles too, which was undisputedly the best team in the NFC. So.
Oh yeah. So, I think they're gonna be fine. It's a more or less, what Kyle Shanahan wants to do, and Kyle Shanahan's gonna do whatever the fuck Kyle Shanahan wants to do. So he likes having the competition. Kyle Shanahan's crazy enough to put 2 quarterbacks in the same fucking game and not give a shit, and not give a fuck what's going on. So to go on with the free agency, the Lions got really a lot better. The Lions next year, I say, have 11 wins next year. They'll have no less than 10. Actually, sorry, no less than 9. They will have no less than 9 wins. Now, I'm not a fan of Jared Goff, but Jared Goff has played really well the last 2 seasons he's been there. They've gotten better each year. Dan Campbell has done something with this team it's like flipped a switch.
That hasn't been seen in years from the Lions.
No. And, they just really need defense. They have an offense. They just need defense. And I'm sure that's what they're
doing. DeAndre Swift really stepped up. Looks good. And Jared Goff, man, got traded. Got sent to a shitty situation. We all thought.
Well, everybody did.
Looked great, man. Looked great. The Lions. I mean, Jared Goff only had 1 bad year. You got to think. He was with the Rams and put up like almost 50 points on us with the shootout in the Chiefs.
Yeah, and it's
not primetime game night. Like, that man can ball, he can swing it, So I think the Lions definitely have a future with Jared Goff. They just need to build around it, get him
Uh,
up, get an O line maybe a little bit more,
I,
and definitely strengthen up that defense.
I don't say he's in the far future, but I think they keep him for about another year or two, and they go on from there. Um, just to keep going, the Vikings. Vikings are in a spot. I know that they're thinking about trading
Kirk.
Dalvin Cook, which if they trade Dalvin Cook, I think they're planning on going a different way at quarterback as well after the season. I think you let Kirk Cousins finish his contract because it's fully guaranteed, so you're gonna have to pay it either way. Um, so worst case scenario, Dalvin Cook gets traded on draft night. If not, he gets traded maybe before the season, or they flip the whole switch and they trade Kirk Cousins. Who knows? You know, they didn't
Who
necessarily.
needs Kirk right now? I mean, the Commanders.
You could trade him.
I
You could
hate
trade him. You
saying
could trade
this.
him to the Falcons. You could go back to Washington.
Yep.
If you're
Well,
really, if you're really fucking.
I don't understand why the Commanders are so against Taylor Heineke, man.
Well, Taylor Heineke isn't. I think people love the story, but people have to understand that Taylor Heineke is a very mid quarterback. Yes, he's won. He's gotten close to winning you some big games, and he's gonna put it on the line. But that's what makes him a solid two. Is that he's gonna put it all on the fucking line. Most quarterbacks are supposed to play cautiously and try not to get hurt, and stuff like that. And I don't, by all means, I don't think he's a bad quarterback. I never.
No.
But I think
I
he's just a
think he
solid
deserves
two.
something though. I
I think
definitely think he deserves something.
I bet he starts if they don't draft a quarterback,
Yeah.
or if they
Um.
or if they don't trade for one. So
Well, I was thinking Vikings might try to trade up for like that Will Levis or maybe try to get their hands on CJ Stroud if they really want to move on from Kirk Cousins.
the draft, this draft is gonna be a wild one. I feel like there's gonna be a lot of
There's going to be a
moves.
lot of moving around for picks, I believe. A lot.
It's a solid class. Quarterback's kind of iffy, but
Quarterbacks
it's a
aren't.
solid defensive class.
There's
The
not.
defense is nuts. The offense,
What
it's not a very offensive heavy
Tennessee's
draft.
Tennessee's quarterback?
Ryan Tannehill.
No, like Tennessee.
Oh, you're talking about Hooker. Hooker.
Yep.
Yeah, he'll be good. He's gonna be
Yep.
late though. He's gonna be late. He's gonna be late.
Exactly, but somebody might get a steal on a late pick for him too. So
Um,
it'll be definitely interesting. I'll be watching it from my TV. I thought about Loki coming down to KC. I don't have tickets to get inside, but I definitely thought about coming
it's
down
free.
outside there
It's free. It's free
to
to
get
vote.
inside the building.
Oh yeah. Oh, the actual building? No, you gotta
Yeah,
pay
you
a
got
lot
to
of
buy
money.
tickets.
But they gotta. But
Yeah.
they come out though. Like the actual part of the draft is in front of Union Station. They're just the
Oh.
room. The room that they're in is like the green room, like where they're getting calls and shit.
Yeah, I have considered coming down Saturday night though. So I just got to figure out hotels and stuff for the night.
Oh, I'm not gonna be there on Saturday. I'm going Thursday. I'm just going for the first round, and I really don't give a fuck about it.
I thought it started Saturday.
Uh-uh.
Or that's the last day, isn't it?
Mhm.
Saturday's the last day.
So to keep going with the moves, and the Falcons signed some pretty, I think, two solid big names. Jesse Bates, David Onyemata is not like a huge name, but it's a great player. Also, obviously, Jesse Bates is one of the best safeties in the league. Bengals got worse. Fuck you.
Yes, sir.
Carolina Panthers are fucking mid. They're gonna be ass for a while. I don't see.
You think they're gonna stick with Baker? You think they're gonna go pick?
I think Frank Wright drafts a quarterback. And
I was gonna say, what pick do they
they
have?
have fourth. No, they have seventh.
You have them up. See, that could be a CJ Stroud pick for real.
All right, they have four. Sorry, they're at pick four.
Oh, they could definitely grab CJ Stroud. But it comes down to number one pick. I'm kind of changing the topic now. It's going to be between CJ Stroud or Bryce Young. I really think so.
I don't think the quarterback goes first.
You don't?
Nope. The Texans,
I think
the Panthers. I think the Panthers either trade number one pick or they draft Jalen Carter, the defensive tackle that's currently dealing with a legal issue.
You don't say.
Nope.
Yeah.
I don't think the first quarterback is going to be picked.
Who do you think the first quarterback will be picked? Bryce Young, CJ Stroud.
I think the first.
I think it'll come down to preference.
I think the first quarterback that's going to be drafted is Will Levis, and I think he's going to go to.
You do?
I think he's going to go to the Colts. I don't think we get a quarterback drafted in the first three picks. I don't. Because
Yeah.
you got, I think, if I'm gonna be honest with you, Will Levis goes for, mm, yeah, I mean, Seattle, they just signed Geno, but they may draft a quarterback here. If they draft any quarterback here, it's Anthony Richardson. But if it's not Anthony Richardson, they don't draft a quarterback here. The Lions, if if quarterbacks fall that far, if I'm the Lions and I have a chance to go get somebody that has potential to be better than Jared Goff, I'm gonna fucking draft somebody better than Jared Goff. If I have the chance, I'm gonna take it. So
Uh,
I think C.J. Stroud gets drafted before Bryce Young.
who's our wide receivers for first round? Wide receiver from Texas. Is he up in there in the chat for that?
Mm-hmm.
I know he performed very well. He's a pretty good player.
Texas.
Trying to think who else.
Um, so there's a lot like this draft is mostly defense heavy. Like it's just a defensive heavy
Yeah.
draft, which is cool because the Chiefs need some defense. We don't need a lot of offense, just need some defense. But
Yep.
um, you know, if I'm gonna I'll give you my first 10 picks, and then we'll go, and you can take your first 10, and then we'll go into uh some controversies going on currently in the NFL. So first pick, I think is Jalen Carter, or that pick gets traded. And then if it gets traded, if you want my full opinion, I think either the Cardinals move up from 3-1 or the Colts move up from 4-1. Those are the two teams that I could see trading. But if if Carolina stays there, it's going to be Jalen Carter. And then the second pick is Texas. I think Texas goes defense again. I think, or they'll go Bijan Robinson. Or actually, they won't go Bijan Robinson because they have a running back already. Sorry, they'll go Will Anderson, which is the outside linebacker from Bama. So I think they take him. So that's two defensive players off the board. Three. Ooh, maybe Tyree Wilson from Texas Tech. He's a defensive end. He's the fourth uh, overall ranked like he's the best defensive end in the draft, but he's the fourth overall ranking in seedings. Um, He's 6'6", 271. Dude's a fucking monster off the line. So I think he goes to the Cardinals. Pick 4 is Will Levis. I don't personally see a lot of potential in Will Levis. I don't think the quarterbacks really have a lot. I think the quarterbacks this year, it's a bad quarterback class because everybody is banking on potential. There's not like a solid, that's my guy for the future. That's my starting quarterback for the next 10 years.
Hot take. Hot take. CJ Stroud's the best quarterback in the draft right now, though. I pick CJ Stroud over Bryce Young. I do.
That's fair. I think C.J. Stroud goes off the board before um, Bryce does.
Bryce does.
Um,
And that'll probably
if
just
you
come
if you
down
want
to
if you want my honest opinion, Will Levis, C.J. Stroud, and Anthony Richardson go before Bryce Young. If I'm gonna be honest with you,
because Bryce Young is,
like
he's like
Bryce
2
Young may fall out of 10, like top 10. Like if we're gonna be honest, so say Seattle drafts Anthony Richardson, then the Lions get fucking C.J. Stroud. That's Will Levis, Anthony Richardson, C.J. Stroud, right? Pick 7, you know, maybe if the Raiders want to just get 1 year at Jimmy G and be like, hey, CJ, sit out this year, learn, and then fucking we'll put you in. Fuck Jimmy Garoppolo after this year. Fuck that. You know, but at the same time, are they committed to fucking Jimmy Garoppolo? So say they're committed to Jimmy Garoppolo. They will probably go get Devon Witherspoon from Illinois, the cornerback. Okay, so that's fucking 7. 8, Atlanta already said they don't want to draft a quarterback. Like that's not like their main need currently.
because they have Ritter.
Yeah, but I'm not
Yeah,
sold
which
on Ritter. I'm not sold on Ritter.
they might not be ready to give up that because they picked him up pretty high too.
It was a
So
fourth rounder. It wasn't terrible.
oh, wasn't
Mm-hmm.
for some reason I thought they grabbed him second,
Well,
but
they were thinking about taking him in the first, but he was not. He's not a first round talent. But he's a good
no.
quarterback. Like there's potential there, but how much are you banking on potential? So, you know, Falcons go defense again. I think they'll go the corner from Oregon, Christian Gonzalez, or they'll go Peter Skoronsky, the offensive tackle from Northwestern. So, say they go get an offensive lineman for Desmond Ritter. So now you got Chicago. Chicago needs linemen, like offensive linemen. So they can, go get Paris Johnson from Ohio State or Broderick Jones from Georgia. Okay, so that's offensive tackle off the board. Then the fucking Eagles have a number 10 pick, which is fucking insane to me, and it blows my fucking mind. But they go out honestly. If it's me, they'll either get Dalton Kincaid from Utah, which is a tight end, or they'll get Nolan Smith.
Another defensive player.
They'll get Nolan Smith from Georgia. So C.J. Stroud may not be picked till fucking 11. I could see him going to the Titans. I could see that because how sold are you on fucking Tannehill right now? Where is Tannehill going to take me?
See, Tannehill, I put in the same category as Jimmy G and Derek Carr.
That's fair.
Same. You put him in the right situation. He's at best a mid-level quarterback, but he's not. He's not a champion, bro. He'll win you some games. He's a winner, but I just don't think he can get you there.
Pick 10, honestly, the Eagles are going to get Bijan Robinson, the best running back in the draft. And that's going to be insane if they do that. So,
I'd rather see them pick up a rookie than have them sign Derrick Henry, if you want my honest opinion.
Fair. So, Tennessee goes to 11. So, say a running back's off the board. They don't go quarterback. Say they go Jackson Smith from Ohio State. Like, say they go wide receiver, right? Okay. Now the Texans are back at 12. If Bryce Young is there, take Bryce Young. I mean, you need a fucking quarterback, obviously. So say you don't spend that second pick on a quarterback, and if Bryce Young fell to you to 12, take him at 12. Don't let him just sit there. Bryce Young won't go out of top 15. If he goes out of top 15, there's something extremely wrong that the media does not know about or they were not willing to say. So, there's a lot of bad analysis behind him, like he's too small, like he's a lot smaller than he looks, so.
Yeah, because Jalen Hurts is one of the smallest quarterbacks in the league, and Jalen Hurts is like 2 inches taller than him.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting 10 picks. So who's your top 10 picks?
It's kind of hard for me because I'm doing this from my phone to pull this up.
No, I'll give you picks. I'll give you picks. So pick one.
Just give me the teams. I'm not gonna give names, but I'll just give positions for sure.
Okay, so go Carolina.
Carolina definitely is either going to go quarterback or some kind of defense. Their defense is decent, but they're going to try to fix some holes that they do have because they do have some holes.
Okay. Pick number 2 is the Texans.
They need everything. Literally everything but a running back. Because that running back they picked up last year did.
Oh, he's
a hard run. He's a hard runner.
He's him. He's fun.
Definitely a hard runner.
He is.
But they need everything, dude. They're just, after they let go of Hopkins and Watson, they went to shit, dude. They've got nothing.
Yeah, they don't. So you think any position is viable at that pick?
Yeah, it's just whatever they want.
The best overall player. Yeah, the best overall player to them on their draft.
Yeah, because they have 2 or 3 first-round picks.
They've got 2.
So they'll definitely take the best player that they need at that time,
Eagles,
who's available to them. They'll probably just take the 2 best on both their picks.
Probably.
I think.
Most likely.
And one of them being a quarterback probably is my guess.
Pick 3.
Knowing Texas, they're going to pick the wrong quarterback. The one that's not going to do well in the NFL. So
the Texans are a hot mess. Cardinals are 3.
I don't know. The Cardinals they're not sitting bad, but they're still a mess. They need to figure out some things. Cliff Kingsbury's is definitely in the frying pan with Kyler Murray. You know,
Oh,
there's
he's no
a
longer
lot of.
there. He got fired.
Oh, I didn't know that yet, but I was aware that he was
He's on the
probably
hot
on his
seat,
way
yeah,
out.
and he is out the door. But they paid his whole contract. That motherfucker is just fine.
I'm hoping they bring somebody in that'll utilize Kyler Murray how
They
he needs to.
I can't remember who they brought in. I'll have to look and see.
They got the same OC though, right?
I don't think so. I think it's a whole new
See that
staff. Could be
that
wrong.
that might be good for them. So they're gonna just fill their holes on defense because I don't think they really, depending on what they do with D Hop, I don't think their offense needs that much. Maybe an O line
Oh,
because
bad. They need O line bad.
yeah,
Bad.
because Kyler's always running.
Mm-hmm. It
Looks like Patrick Mahomes 2 years ago, but
was just a Super Bowl. Wasn't a whole year. Just Super Bowl. It's fine.
well before that, the year before that, our
Oh,
offensive line was a little like right before that year. It was
offensive line wasn't
weak, but we
terrible, but
definitely
it wasn't. It wasn't the best, but it wasn't terrible.
no, and now our offensive line looks great, so I'm kind of happy with it.
I think.
We'll probably draft an O line too,
Mm,
just because we have to replace Wiley, or at least add some more depth. Either way,
uh,
um,
pick number
Cardinals will
4 is the
probably pick
Colts.
O line though for sure.
Okay, Colts are the 4th pick.
Quarterback.
Okay, Seattle is the 5th.
They did just sign the Geno contract, so
Gave him a lot
Seattle's
of
got
bread.
options, dude. Their defense
His
needs a
ass.
little work.
Defense is very bad.
Yep, needs work. It's got a lot of holes. I think they need what? A safety, a cornerback, and an entire defensive line, pretty much,
They need an O line too a little bit.
and a linebacker.
Mm-hmm. Um,
Arguably, Chiefs probably have the best linebacker core in the league. Uh, Definitely.
top 5 for sure.
Yep.
Where do you think they're going? What position do you think
Uh, I could see him go for a wide receiver.
they're going?
That or keep filling up that defensive line. That's probably where they'll go as defense, first pick. But they'll be going after a wide receiver too. I don't know what's going to happen with Tyler Lockett, man. I don't think
Shout out
he'll
to
be
Tyler
with
Lockett.
Seattle much longer.
He'll probably
I
finish. I
don't.
think he finishes his career there.
You think so?
Mm-hmm. I think he'll always be a solid 2 to DK Metcalf. I think DK Metcalf leaves before Tyler Lockett does.
Yeah. What we got?
Chat asked me where Zeke is going. I don't think Zeke will be signed on a team until beginning of training camps.
Yeah,
Probably starting.
Zeke won't be a starter in Dallas no more, dude. They can pay Tony
Zeke
Pollard.
won't be a starter
They're
anywhere
paying
unless some
Tony
bad team.
Pollard so much less, and Tony Pollard's a much better running back.
Well, Zeke Elliott's no longer there, so it's Tony Pollard's game
Oh,
from
is
here
he
on out.
completely free
Yeah.
agent?
hmm
And ain't nobody signed him.
I don't think Zeke signs.
I'm trying to think of somebody who's got the cap space that's willing to pick him up. Jets,
Well,
maybe.
Zeke needs to
Jets
know.
may add him.
Zeke needs to know that he's not a 1 anymore. So,
No, absolutely. He's
and the Cowboys.
the
the
one outstanding year he had was 2016.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of that, he's been mid. He's overpaid.
I don't think Zeke goes anywhere like
He had the one good year to get the huge bag that he got, and then after that, just
a lot of money.
straight downhill.
Jerry Jones paid that man a lot of money.
Yeah.
I don't think Zeke gets signed until the beginning of off-season training, and honestly, I don't know.
That's
where, I don't,
after
I don't,
he accepts that nobody wants him as a
Mhm.
one.
I don't know where he goes, but I know wherever he goes, he's not going to be starting. He's going to be a 2. And if he does start, it's because they don't have a running back and they're very desperate.
It's Cardinals have James Conner and who? So I think Falcons have. I can see him maybe Falcons.
Yeah, I don't think. I personally don't think
The Falcons don't have a huge power back.
No,
Like a good third down back, which would be Zeke. Zeke's going to be a third down back at most now.
Worst case scenario, I think he goes back to Dallas on a very cheap deal, and he knows that he's the 2. And Tony Pollard gets about 90% of the carries.
Yep.
To move on, so pick number 6 is the Lions.
Offense.
You okay?
Probably O-line.
Good pick. Pick 7 is the Raiders.
they'll probably go O-line too, or I could see them drafting a running back if they get one at a good price. I
Well,
don't see them.
they got Josh
I don't.
Jacobs, but it's a matter of
Yeah,
how happy Josh Jacobs is there.
exactly. And I know Josh Jacobs is,
He's probably
you know,
fucking irritated. I would be if I was a Raiders fan. Fuck you, Raiders. Fuck the Raiders,
yeah,
respectfully.
because they don't use Josh Jacobs that much.
Well,
They try to throw
they do. I think
it.
they overwork him, and it's not like I think they overwork him, but I think he's more or less pissed that the overworking isn't turning into wins.
No, but
So
like they use him so much for those. I think he can be utilized different because they don't use Josh Jacobs hardly at all in the passing game though.
well, no, because he's not a passing back. He can catch him.
He
He's just
he,
not a
he
passing
could
back.
definitely, but he's so shifty, low
Yeah,
key.
it's more he's a downhill runner. Like I said, he can catch out of the backfield, but Josh McDaniels isn't gonna. I don't think he's gonna put him in harm's way of doing
No,
a cross over the middle. So if he wants to add that to his game, I think it helps him. But
I do too.
I don't think the Raiders are gonna
They'll
ask that
probably
out
go
of
for
him.
defense though, defensive line. Get
Okay.
Max Crosby some help.
Okay. Pick 8 is the Falcons.
Defense. Their defense is bad,
It's getting better
very
though.
bad.
Getting better. They signed some good names this offseason, so it's getting better. Then the ninth pick,
They'll probably get 2 or 3 different defensive draft picks this year. I really believe that. I think they'll take 2 or 3 picks in the defense.
and then pick number 9 is Chicago, and pick number 10 is the Eagles.
Oh, Chicago defense, O line. They'll get somewhere in there. It'll be a lineman of some sort, I do believe, for their first pick in the first round. Because they're set, like we talked about earlier, they're set on wide receivers. They don't need a wide receiver. They have their mind set on Justin Fields, and Justin Fields is a very capable quarterback. I do believe he just
Got to give the man
needs the
weapons to
right
be able
team
to do
around him.
something.
Yep, yep,
Can't give him a fucking piss poor wide receiver room, and then your offensive line can't fucking guard wind. Like,
yep. So they'll probably draft a defensive pick, probably a linebacker. Well, they got Trick.
they
They
got they got
let go of Trick on Smith, but they
they got
got
Tremaine Edmonds.
yeah, which is not terrible.
Tremaine Edmonds is an upgrade over Roquan Smith.
I do too.
Roquan
And
Smith,
Roquan Smith wanted way too much money.
yeah, and the Ravens paid him. Man,
Yeah,
great.
they pay all these overpaid people out the ass, but they're not willing to pay
Bro, I don't
Lamar.
think Roquan Smith's overpaid, but he's not. He's not. I don't think he should be getting paid the type of money for that position because all he is an inside linebacker. He doesn't really cover. Doesn't really do nothing. He's really
He's
bad.
a run. He's a run
Yeah,
stopper.
he's really bad at coverage. Really bad. That's why they.
But I mean,
That's
the
why Tremaine
minute
Evans is there
somebody
now.
that they want outside of Lamar, they'll pay him what they want.
Yeah.
And dude, Lamar is a franchise quarterback all day long. Why they haven't tagged him and paid him the money that he wanted?
Well, he's tagged. He just hasn't signed it yet.
I know because
He
they're
wants. He
they're
wants his
trying to pay him
250.
cheap.
Well, listen, 250 guaranteed is completely understandable. You understand, Lamar Jackson is not a bum. Like, it's not. It's like, yes, I'm not like a huge Ravens fan and etc. But
I mean,
Lamar Jackson, like this. These are his stats for this past year. So he played 12 games because he got hurt. Obviously, he had 326 attempts on 203 completions. So that's a 62.3 completion percentage. He had 2,242 yards passing, 764 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns, a 91.1 QB rating. He had 17 touchdowns and 7 interceptions, and he averaged 6.9 average yards per pass.
which
That's not bad stats. It's just Lamar got hurt. Lamar like
well,
Lamar
and
was playing at an
the
MVP
thing
level the first
about
4 games.
Lamar is he needs to get his bag while he can because the way the Ravens play him, running the ball so much, like for running quarterbacks, we've seen it many times before. One ACL injury and they can't run like that no more.
Yeah, it's
RG3
definitely
I thought was a good quarterback until
he got hurt.
he had that. Yeah,
Yeah,
and then went downhill. So you got to get that money while you can because the way they run him as much as they do, one ACL tear, and then he ain't gonna have that chance of that kind of money
Well,
again. I don't think.
that's why it's like one of the biggest controversies of the offseason. Why are the Ravens not paying Lamar Jackson? And I honestly, if you want me to be completely honest with you, so he doesn't have an agent. So, or he has an agent, but it's his mom. If I'm going to be honest with you, from a business standpoint, I'm not going to listen to a mother of an athlete that is the agent. I'm sorry. That's not
It's
professional.
it's not. Yeah, I was gonna say it's not professional.
Now, more like I understand, like they want to keep as much money as they can coming in because you have to pay an agent like a certain amount. That's fine. I don't care for that part. But you cannot go into a negotiation with somebody that's not
In the
professional.
business,
That was
who's
not.
not
Well, she
who's
probably
not
is
even
because
in the business.
she has to. Like you have to get a license and all that. So she's in the business, but they're not going to take a mother of the franchise quarterback serious in a negotiation.
Absolutely not.
In my opinion, Lamar Jackson deserves $250 million. That's understandable. You have to pay that man because the Ravens were not like the best for a couple years on the end of Joe Flacco's career. Like, it was bad.
And they need to realize there's a team out there that's going to pay him that.
Oh yeah, and it's not gonna be.
Washington will pay him. I could see
I don't see.
Arizona
I don't see him.
setting Ritter aside, man, and
I
going
don't.
after Lamar. Like there's teams that need him and probably want him.
I don't
Panthers.
see. I see. There's only three teams that I could see him going to, and that's Atlanta. I could see him going to um, Atlanta. He could go low key to Tampa Bay
I think you're gonna like my next one. I'm gonna
or
say too.
Minnesota. I think he could go to Minnesota. If you give Lamar Jackson, Justin Jefferson, that's a problem. That's
Think about this. You ready for this one?
mm,
This one's not about just paying him, but a couple trades in the process too.
like a three-way trade.
Nope. Two teams. But picture this though. Tua to the Ravens for some picks. I mean, Lamar going to the Dolphins, he'd have everything he wants. He's got an O line. He's got
See,
wide receivers. He's got a defense.
I don't think the Dolphins.
Could afford it though.
I don't think the Dolphins aren't. I think the Dolphins are set on Tua because they
What
exercise his
I
fifth year. And the only reason I don't the only reason I'm saying they're committed to Tua is because
I don't know how you can commit to the quarterback with the concussion problem he has. His concussion
see, but
count's high right now.
that's also on the coach for not taking him out when he needed to be taken out.
I know, but he's got what, 3 since he's been in the league now?
Hmm.
And he had 2 in college.
It's more or less it's got to be the right price. And I know the thing is Miami does not have a lot of money. They don't. They would have to
No,
do a
but
lot.
they got
They'd have to do a lot of moving.
but they got trade picks.
They do.
And they got some players they could move
I don't
because
think
the Ravens could use some defense too.
I would be shocked if he goes to Miami. I would not be shocked if he went to like Atlanta
No, because the people who, yeah,
and
100%.
and I think Atlanta's the best bet because they have the eighth pick, so the Ravens could just swap spots
Yeah.
and give him Lamar Jackson and then do like a sign and trade or whatever. So I think Lamar Jackson will get his money, but I do not think it's going to be with the Ravens. It'll be somewhere else. And
Nope.
you know,
And then you and I can go give Carlton shit about not having a franchise quarterback anymore.
well, I have it on text chat that if this is his words, not mine. If Lamar Jackson leaves, he becomes a Patrick Mahomes fan. That's his words, not mine.
Did he say that?
Yeah, he said it. I
Oh.
have it. I have the receipts. I'll have to find them, but I have the receipts. It's in a chat somewhere. But that's really like the biggest controversy of the offseason. It was the Aaron Rodgers stuff for a little bit. That just got done. It's really that's been the main talking point of the whole offseason. Why is Lamar Jackson not getting paid? And it's really unfortunate because he
It,
deserves it.
it, it makes me wonder if there's not some sort of underlining issue that the media is not talking. That
Well,
the media
he's just
doesn't even
you
know
know
about
it's
because
it's inconsistency. You're 1-3 in the playoffs. You've gotten hurt the last
yeah,
2 years. What have you provided me besides an MVP season? Like this is just talking from a business standpoint. So
yeah,
yes, you've won us games, right? Like you brought us to the playoffs, but you're 1-3 in the playoffs. You
which
are
is not good.
he is he has played fairly bad in 3 of those playoff games. The one playoff game that they won, he played very well. Other than that, it's bad. It's like 4 fumbles. It's bad. It's
Wasn't his one playoff win during his 2016 campaign? I think it was. Would have been during his MVP season,
no
or
they
was it
they
2017?
they
Year
beat
after
they beat somebody and then
wild card. It was a wild card game.
they beat Tennessee. No, Tennessee beat them, and then they beat Tennessee. Yeah, so they played Tennessee, beat Tennessee, and then they played Tennessee again and they lost. If I'm not mistaken. Not
Yeah.
mistaken. I could be wrong. But, with that controversy, you had the Aaron Rodgers stuff, and then honestly, bro, like it was a solid, quiet off season. Like I didn't really there wasn't really like crazy shit going on. It was more or less like
Last year's was
random moves.
crazy,
Yeah.
or was it the years before?
I think it was this past year, not this year that just happened.
Yeah, it was.
The year
There was a
before.
lot. Well, you had Tyreek going to the Dolphins, and you had everybody was just moving. Goff went to the Lions, and there was a lot of movement last year. A lot of movement.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be interesting.
Yep.
Um, I
I'm
don't think.
looking forward to see what Veach does with our picks, though.
Yeah,
Definitely the end of my. Well, one of the last things I got to say is I'm really excited for the Chiefs draft. I'm not worried for us at all. I'm really not.
in Veach we trust, baby. Let him cook.
Well, y'all lost Tyreek Hill. Like, how's your offense gonna, do anything? And
I'm gonna be honest with you.
stats even say our offense was more productive, and Patrick Mahomes performed even better without Tyreek Hill
You
because
guys
it
got
opened up our short game
people need to
passing.
understand that the AFC West spent $250 million for one guy, and the motherfucker just went and dropped a ring on everybody's fucking head. Like I said, it's Patrick Mahomes, and then it's everybody fucking else.
Yeah,
There, I've never seen somebody like Patrick Mahomes. I've never seen it. I've never seen it before. It's awesome to have in the city that I grew up in. It's fun to
you know,
fucking watch. It's very fun to
every
watch.
time Carlton puts Lamar in a conversation with Patrick Mahomes, I can't do anything but laugh, dude. It's just like
So,
I don't even put Lamar top 3 right now.
well,
Jalen
we
Hurts,
can we can
Joe Burrow.
we're getting ready to go into that. We're actually
Oh,
getting ready.
sweet. All right, let's go. Let's
So,
go. I'm excited.
my top 5 quarterbacks.
Specific order?
Yes, so mine are in specific order. Yours don't have
Okay.
to be, but mine are.
Well, no, I was just wondering.
Okay. So Patrick Mahomes is my top one. His stats this year: he played 17 games at 648 attempts for 435 completions. So that's a 67.1 percentage completion percentage. He had 5,250 yards passing total. That's including playoffs. An 8.1 average yard uh, per per passing play, and then 41 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, 105.2 QB rating, 338 rushing yards, and then 4 touchdowns rushing, which I didn't know that. Then
I'm not
Joe, and
shocked,
then
though.
second is Joe Burrow for me at a 68.3 completion percentage, 4,475 yards, 7.4 average passing yard per play, 35 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, 100.8 rating QB rating. Now I have Joe Burrow at 2 because I don't like the Bengals, but Joe Burrow is nice. That motherfucker is cold. Joe Shiesty is in full effect. He's a solid quarterback. I'm not gonna root for him, but I'm not gonna disrespect him. Man is the top 2 quarterback in the league, and
You
it's
gotta give credit where credit's due,
yep.
and the stats speak for themselves. So,
Oh yeah.
like you said, I'm not a Joe Burrow fan, but the stats are there and they don't lie. So,
And then You got Josh Allen at 3 for me.
Yep.
63.3 completion percentage, 4,283 yards passing, 7.6 average, 35 touchdowns to 14 interceptions. Uh, and then let me look up rushing just 1 second. But to keep going, um, he had 35 touchdowns, 40 interceptions. He also had a 96.6 QB rating. I have him at 3 because, if I'm going to be honest with you, Josh Allen has a gift, and he's a great quarterback, but I think he has an issue being conservative when he needs to be conservative. So, um, you know, Josh Allen is not a bad quarterback. I think it's just the fact that Patrick Mahomes is better. Patrick Mahomes is there, and it's unfortunate because Josh Allen, I don't think is ever going to be Patrick Mahomes.
And it also comes down to the fact the AFC quarterback battle. I mean, he's got to beat Joe. He's got to beat Joe Burrow too. Like it's not easy over there.
Oh yeah, it's
And,
it's going to be different. And then he had 762 rushing yards, which I did not know that.
oh, that
For
I
for
was not
six for
expecting.
six
That's almost
point
a
one
thousand.
for 6.1 average yards per rush, he had 7 rushing touchdowns. His longest was a 44. Um, and then at
I did not
4,
know
yeah,
that.
I didn't know that at all, to be honest with you. At 4, I have Jalen Hurts. He had a 66.5 completion percentage, 3,701 yards passing, and 8 average yards per passing play, 760 yards rushing, and 13 fucking touchdowns rushing. And then he had 22 touchdowns and 6 interceptions and a 101.6 QB rating. The only reason I don't have him over Josh Allen is because I feel like Josh Allen brings a lot more to the table quarterback wise. I feel like passing wise, Josh Allen's a little bit more, but Jalen Hurts is on his fucking ass for that. Like he's right behind Josh Allen. You can honestly put Josh Allen at 4 and Jalen Hurts at 3 if you really wanted to. I don't personally mind. And then 5, I hate saying this. I really hate saying this, but Justin Herbert. So he had 68.2 completion percentage, 4,739 yards, a 6.8 average yards per pass, 25 touchdowns and 10 interceptions, and a 93.2 QB rating. I have Justin Herbert at 5 because Justin Herbert is a talent that the Chargers are wasting. Well, not wasting. The Chargers are just unfortunately unlucky. Um, you know,
You have Justin Herbert over Russell Wilson? Are you kidding me?
absolutely. Russell Wilson is dog
Yeah,
shit. Oh, you're
I just
joking. You're
trolling.
joking.
I'm
You're joking. I
trolling.
was about to say, what the
I'm
fuck,
trolling.
50? This man
That
only.
man.
This man only. I don't even think
What
he
did
had
Russell
10.
even?
I don't even think Russell Wilson had fucking
No,
10 fucking
because there was
touchdowns
that
this year.
meme going around that he has more bathrooms in his house than he did touchdowns last year.
Oh fuck.
Did you not see that GIF going
I've
around?
seen the meme. Yeah. So
Yeah, he
he
had
had six. He
more
had 16
bathrooms.
touchdowns and 11 interceptions. That's a fucking terrible year. That's a terrible
No,
year.
I had to troll, man.
I know. I'm
I
already
can't
knowing.
believe
But I have
he
Justin
was.
Herbert. I have Justin Herbert at 5 because it's just I feel like it's
Yeah, and
valid. I don't think
you move Justin Herbert to a different team in a better situation, and
if
he
if
could be a number 3 all day. I
if we're
really
just gonna
do.
if we're gonna be honest, if we're just gonna be honest, if San Diego draft or sorry Los Angeles, if the Los Angeles Chargers draft Tua, Justin Herbert in Miami, it's a lot different. If you give
Yeah,
Justin Herbert,
100%.
Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and a solid fucking defense, it's a problem. It's a problem. And it's really unfortunate because Justin Herbert is in the same division as my team, and you know they can't get over the hump. I don't think Justin. I think Justin is a bigger version of unfortunately Philip Rivers for the Chargers. Philip Rivers was the most annoying fucking quarterback I ever watched the Chiefs play. All that motherfucker did
And
was
he was a
complain.
crybaby
Yeah,
too.
it was a big
Crybaby.
crybaby. But I think the Chargers are in good hands, but I don't think they get over the hump. I don't think their coach is very good, and I think the best part about that team is Justin Herbert. But that's my top
Yep.
5
Well, and
quarterbacks.
Austin Eckler, I think, is a definitely a good second option for him too.
Yeah,
Is
he's.
Austin Eckler is so unique, you know?
I think they trade him in the draft because he doesn't want to be there anymore.
No, and You can't blame them
Yeah, they
either.
won't pay him. Get your bag somewhere. I don't need you running on my boys now. I don't need you doing
Yeah.
that now. But
All right.
that's
So
my top five. That's my top five.
my top five is actually very similar, except I am gonna do what you weren't quite able to do. So obviously we got Patrick Mahomes number one all day. You know, he's not just the top of the pyramid; he's the halo sitting above the top of the
He's
pyramid.
the guy on top of
Like,
the period telling everybody what to do.
yeah. Um. Then number two, Joe Shiesty. You know, ice cold man. Definitely swagged out. Uh,
Got the best drip in the
not as
NFL
big as
besides
fan
Travis
though,
Kelsey.
but yep. Number three, I will go Jalen Hurts, and because of last year, dude.
He went off, bro. Went off.
Well, not just based off his performance, but also Josh Allen's. You know, Josh Allen showed a pretty decent decline in his gameplay last year. He got sloppy with those interceptions.
They all
You know,
came,
it
and
could have just
four of them came in the end zone. Four of them came in the end
yep,
zone.
and it comes down to it could have just been a mental thing last year, and he could come back and reclaim his spot at three in my head. But as right now, I can't put him three over Jalen Hurts. Jalen
Jalen
Hurts
Hurts has
performed so well, and Josh Allen took three steps back last year.
if we're
He really did.
if we're gonna be honest with, if we're just gonna be truthfully honest, if say that since even though the Chiefs won the Super Bowl, realistically the MVP still could have went to Jalen Hurts for that game. Jalen Hurts played his fucking mind off in that fucking Super Bowl. That it was some of the best football I've ever seen played from a quarterback in a fucking Super Bowl. If and
Yeah.
even the Chiefs player said that, like, even though we won, that motherfucker still could have got MVP. Like, he was nice that fucking game. Was very nice that game.
Um. Then obviously number four, I'm gonna go Josh Allen.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and no disrespect to him, and like I said, you know, he could reclaim that spot this year. As far as all he's got to do is play like his normal self, and I'll put him over Josh Allen just because what you said, he brings a lot to the table. I just, me, myself, can't comfortably put him over Jalen Hurts over Jalen's performance last year and Josh Allen's decline. So
I don't think
we'll see what
Josh
happens
Allen's
this year.
I don't think Josh Allen's play will keep up either. The way he plays,
Yeah.
he's not gonna last very long.
Nope.
Which is unfortunate because he's a great
So,
talent.
yeah. And then number five, dude, number five's so hard. You said Justin Herbert.
You can honestly, if Justin Herbert
I,
isn't five,
I was gonna say when healthy, dude. Lamar. I hate to say it,
I'm
but
not.
Lamar, when healthy, is just such a dangerous quarterback.
I wouldn't. Me personally, I'm not putting Lamar at five. Lamar's in my top 10, but he's not five. But it's
You got
I
him
think it's a
probably
valid
pretty
reason.
close to five, don't you? Six or seven, probably.
I have him like eight. Eight.
Ugh. I don't know. I guess
Only because he was hurt and his numbers were not the best, but it was because he was hurt. So
I just feel like the number five spot you could just plug. You could just plug in a couple different players. Honestly, there's just so many factors. I do not agree with your pick of Justin Herbert at all either. That man's got an arm talent that man can throw the ball. He can
yeah.
really. That man's got a cannon. You know, he's smart.
You could low key
he doesn't get scared in the pocket.
No, you could low key put Trevor Lawrence at five. Like
See,
that's a
and
valid
that was
that's a
another
valid
plug-in.
reason.
That was another plug-in.
Which
You
he
know, there's
his
just
numbers.
for the number five spot. There's just so many things you can convert in there and put. You could just switch and mix and match whoever you wanted at number five almost.
Yeah, five to 10 for quarterbacks. It's really a preference, honestly.
Yeah.
And Justin Herbert had 68.2 completion percentage, 4,739 yards. Trevor Lawrence had 4,113 with 25 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. So he had the same touchdowns, but he had less interceptions, and his passing percentage was just a little bit under Justin Herbert.
You know,
But his
and
QB rating was
who
better.
else? You know who else I would not be against putting five?
Who?
He's old, and it's a hot take. I wouldn't be against putting Aaron Rodgers at number five. I really wouldn't.
I mean,
When he's got the team around him, he performs.
you give Aaron Rodgers an all line and receivers. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I have no problem
It's
putting him five. Like
and
it's just five is just so controversial, dude.
that's fair. That's honestly fair. Like I said, 5 to 10 is just a toss. There's so many good quarterbacks, and it's so crazy because most of them are in the fucking AFC.
Yeah, AFC will be fun to watch this year.
Yes, it will. Yes.
I mean, it was fun to watch last year. Everybody, you know, there was so high praise for Russell Wilson coming to the AFC. Like, you know, the Chiefs division got even harder, and dude, we didn't even bat an eye, dude, at our division.
In this offseason,
We didn't even bat an eye.
The offseason, the teams got worse.
Yeah, so we own our division.
We signed an offensive tackle, which I'm very confident in. I personally think he's better than Orlando Brown. Orlando Brown was a good left tackle when he needed to be.
I'll watch out.
When he needed to be, you know, more power to him. He went to the Bengals. Well, you know, people are like,
Whatever.
"Oh, we got our the best left tackle in the league." I'm like, you can go back and watch the tape. That motherfucker got pressured a lot. So enjoy that. More power to you. Whatever. The Bengals got worse. Buffalo got worse. You know, the teams that were scary to us got worse. So, and my preference, we got better. We got younger on defense. We got a great left tackle for Patrick, and he doesn't cost a lot. Like it's a very good deal. Shout out to Brett Veach. We're gonna draft a receiver. I think we trade up and draft a receiver, and then it's gonna be. We'll probably draft one more running back. We're gonna keep Pacheco. We haven't re-signed McKinnon yet. If we don't,
I hope we do because McKinnon doesn't ask for much, and
well, the thing is McKinnon probably wants a bag because he played really well. Which
he played his ass off.
I don't think it's not like a disrespect thing to him, and I hope he knows that. But it's a business at the end of the day. We want to be young. He's like 31, 32 years old.
And he's
can I
one
count?
or two ACL tears?
It's just one.
Just the one?
Yeah. Or he may have two in both legs. I could be wrong. Which his story is great. I love Jerick McKinnon. He was a great player, solid fucking guy for the team. I think they draft somebody. There's a guy at Syracuse that's gonna be really late. Really like him. Dude's got some solid fucking stats, and his combine numbers are really good. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Brett Veach has 10 picks. He's gonna be busy day 2 and day 3. I say we trade up in the first round, and we either get Zay Flowers or Quentin Jefferson. I've already heard rumors on Bleacher Report stating we're looking into Zay Flowers. We're looking to trade up to get Zay Flowers. They're very confident in him. He worked out with Patrick Mahomes, so it'll be interesting. The last part of the top 5, we're gonna do.
Way down.
We're gonna do.
Way down.
We're gonna do receivers.
Way down.
We're gonna do receivers. The top 5 receivers. I'm not gonna go over stats. I'm just gonna name them.
Ooh, I was gonna say no specific order because that one's gonna be hard.
I won't make you.
The receivers are so plugged in.
I won't make you do a specific order. I'm gonna go Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, AJ Brown, Stephon Diggs, and Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams is still good. He was great. You know what I'm saying? He had 1,500 yards, which is not terrible. He had 14 tutties. Devontae Adams is still a good receiver, but he's getting old. He still got it, but you're having Jimmy Garoppolo pass to you. I don't know how it's going to work. I think the young group of receivers that's coming up is going to be nice. The league is good in good hands when it comes to skill position players. I think it's good for football. Justin Jefferson, in my opinion, is hands down the best fucking receiver in the league, and you cannot tell me otherwise. His game is in fucking sane. He has potential to be fucking a Hall of Fame player. Hopefully, he wins in Minnesota. If they trade Dalvin Cook and then they move off Kirk Cousins, Justin's gone. Justin is gone unless you give them a quarterback. unless they trade for a really good quarterback like Lamar, or you draft one. We
Yep.
don't know. So that's my top 5, not in order, and you can give your top 5 in order.
So I'm gonna go. Mine's really close to yours too. So obviously we're gonna throw in Tyreek Hill, Justin Jefferson. Um, One you didn't mention, I gotta throw Jamar Chase in there.
Jamar
Um,
Chase, that's fair. That's valid. It's
so
valid.
I'm taking your list, but I'm taking out Devontae and putting in Jamar Chase because I feel like Devontae Adams. No discredit to him, I'm putting him right at 6. But
Fair.
this year, I feel like is going to be the start of his. It may not be like a straight drop down, but he's going to start slowly declining a little
I
bit.
don't.
The quarterback play, his productiveness isn't going to be there anymore. He's still going to be elite. I just don't think his productiveness is going to be there, and he's getting a little bit older.
Is it because
But
of
I
his
just think
quarterback?
Jamar Chase earns that spot just a little bit more with everybody else.
So you have Tyreek
I don't
Hill.
want to take I don't want to take out the rest of anybody else for Devontae. So, but I
Oh,
want
that's
Jamar
fair.
Chase in there too because he's young talent.
So you have Justin. You have Tyreek Hill, and then
Justin Jefferson,
Justin Jefferson,
Jamar
Jamar
Chase,
Chase, and then you have
AJ Brown,
okay.
and who's your fifth one?
I said Stephon Diggs.
And Stephon.
So we have a very a
Or,
pretty
or
close.
or you could put Devontae in and take out Stephon for Jamar. Just it
It's a
that plug
valid
and pull,
list.
but
No,
they're still going to
it's
be
a
6.
receivers are really good. There's a lot of good receivers.
Yeah, I can't remember a time where there was this many good receivers in the league all at the same time.
Been a while. It's been a while.
Because you can still throw you can still throw Hopkins in the top 10, and you can throw uh dude. There's so many. You can throw Keenan Allen in the top 10 still with those guys, and you can throw who am I missing? Oh, CD Lamb in there, and
There's just
there's a lot of people.
receiver wise, I think the league has a lot of really good receivers. Like I think there's a lot of good. The league's in good hands feature wise when it comes to offensive side of the ball, and that's where the league's going. It's going to be more offensive, you know, oriented. It's funner to watch. No, and it's crazy because I played defense in sports, and I loved playing defense. I think defense is the funnest part about football. But um, you know, I'm glad that we can, we've got
Go potty.
we got some similarities on the lists. Obviously, I think both lists are good. I think they're fair, and I think people would agree with them, and some people won't agree,
Yeah.
and that's fine. Um, to end off this podcast, tell me your favorite moment you had playing sports.
Mine?
Yep.
Wow.
It can be any sport. It doesn't have to be just a sport.
See, I was definitely multi-sport growing up. I was an all-state wrestler all 4 years in my high school too. I wrestled 150 all the way through. Well, 140 my freshman year, then I was like 150 the rest of my last 3 years of high school.
I love
So
wrestling.
I had a fairly easy weight class, I guess a lot of people would say, but wrestling still takes a lot of conditioning to do. Those 3-minute rounds, dude.
They get
It's
rough.
exerting.
Chat, if you haven't, chat or comment section, if you haven't wrestled, bro, I highly if you're a young man and you want to build character or just get in fucking crazy shape, go wrestle. Go wrestle for your school, dude. That shit puts you in a fucking insane shape, and you become more of a man from wrestling.
And this is the thing, a lot of people say like the practices and the conditioning for track are like the worst in high school. At least at my school, wrestling just blew it out the water, dude.
Wrestling conditioning
because they'll turn up the wrestling room to like 90 degrees, and then you're running your ass off and you're wrestling in that shit, and
I remember
and then you're constantly cutting through the wrestling season. You have to maintain your weight, and you can't gain too much water weight. Like
chat, like I said, if you wrestle, if you want to find your inner person. Go fucking wrestle and go through the conditioning and the fucking just the workout itself. I promise you will fucking think a lot differently about how sports are. Wrestling is a hard fucking sport. I can't every time I when we were in the wrestling room when I was in eighth grade, bro, our teacher or the coach, he was a teacher there, but he every time he would run past the temperature gauge, he'd turn it up. And oh my fucking god, dude, it was like 102 in
Oh,
there
they
one
cranked
time.
yours up too.
Bro, it was like
Yeah,
102 in there one day, and I'm talking, I am wet. Like, I'm dripping onto the mat wet. And
yeah.
I'm fucking, I think by like the 15th lap in there, because we had to do 20, I'm fucking, ugh, ugh, this fucking sucks. Like, I can't,
You'll learn really quick in wrestling. You do not drink soda or pop, whatever you guys call it.
oh yeah.
You do not drink that during wrestling season, or you will be throwing up every day at practice. Like soda, sugary foods have got to go because that shit. The practices are just so intense. Like you
Oh
have to be
yeah.
careful. Even your school lunch portions that are small, you got to portion yourself if you got wrestling practice at the end of the day because it's coming back up if you ain't ready.
It's a grueling process, man, but I loved it. I loved it.
Uh,
If I
I
could get
would just say any year of my high school in wrestling, dude, because my wrestling team, those were my brothers, dude.
Sweet.
We sweat together, we died together, like we always supported each other. Wrestling was my favorite. That was my passion, man. So
Um, I'd have
I
to.
played football. I enjoyed baseball. I Football was probably my least favorite sport to play,
That's fair.
and that's just because I'm not gonna say I wasn't like the best at it, but I didn't focus on football that much because in wrestling season, like I did all year round wrestling, so I actually did traveling. I went out of my state and wrestled in other states and
Mm,
stuff. My cousin, you can look him up on the internet, dude. He was number one in the nation.
that's
He
fire.
wrestled for Creston, which is about 40 minutes from my town. He was number one in the nation for like 2 years at like
Fuck.
165 or 170, somewhere in there.
Yeah. The
And then he got so burnt out, dude. He had a full ride scholarship to go wrestle for the University of Iowa, which people don't know is the number one
mhm
wrestling school in the country.
mhm.
He turned it down to go play for like a small like D2 college football team to walk on as the running back. Just that just shows
Sometimes.
like you can get burnt out,
Oh
dude.
yeah.
Like
Oh yeah.
so
It's a grueling sport, man.
baseball was definitely my second favorite, and then track was all right. Like nobody's
Fucking
favorite sport is track because that's just running. But
chat. I'm gonna be real honest with you. In the comment section, if y'all, if track was your favorite sport, you got a serious problem. You got a fucking problem, and you need to get checked. You need to get checked and
uh,
talk to a goddamn therapist.
dude,
Cause that
my favorite passion is to run in a circle. Swear to God,
I think I think
just
my
sounds silly.
I think my favorite moment I ever had playing sports wasn't just a moment. I think it was my whole seventh. Ooh, my whole seventh grade year playing football. Um, that was
Middle school.
that was the year I fucked my knee up. The beginning of the end of all
What'd you
my.
tear?
I didn't tear anything. I got so my right kneecap. I was on a kick. No, I was on a Oklahoma drill. No, not Oklahoma drill. Was it Oklahoma drill?
Did you know they got rid of those or tried to
Yeah,
or whatever?
it's basically so I was a defensive lineman, so I played an offensive lineman and I had to try to move the lineman and get the runner. So that's I can't remember
Yeah,
if that's Oklahoma drill off the top of my head. It's been so long.
might as well be.
So when it happened, I turned the lineman around and I went to go tackle the runner, and the runner hit his helmet in the front of my knee, and then the guy behind me fell with his helmet in the back
Ooh.
of my knee. So but the back hit my leg first. So when he hit the back of my knee, it popped my kneecap out, and then the helmet hit my kneecap, and then my kneecap. So how do I explain it? Trying to okay. Let's do this. So say this is my kneecap, right? So my kneecap went all the way around and got to right here, and then it slingshotted back into place. And it caused a calcium buildup called Osgood slaughters under my growth plate. So it's actually why I'm short. I'm like 5'6", 5'5", and my right leg is shorter than my left. It hurts every day. It's not fun. The only way it goes away is if you're not active. And I am. You walk every fucking day. So, it's definitely something that I'm not happy about. But that whole seventh grade year of football was just so fun, dude. I made friends, made a lot of fucking memories, and then going into eighth grade, I stopped. I didn't play football. I played football for the school in eighth grade. I didn't play very well. I wasn't a starter or anything like that. Um, but I played baseball, rec league in eighth grade, and all my friends that played competitively left competitive because they didn't want to do it anymore because they just wanted to relax before they went into high school and started getting more competitive. And my eighth grade year of baseball was probably up there with the seventh grade year of football, dude. Eighth grade year of baseball, we had the best team, and nobody could fuck with us. Like nobody. And we would go into the first inning, and we would tell people on base like, we gonna kick your ass. Like, you ain't winning this fucking game. And baseball is my first love. I love baseball. I can watch baseball all fucking day, and it does not
we
bore
should
me.
we should go to a Royals game sometime.
They are cheap because they fucking suck. But uh,
Baseball's baseball.
baseball is baseball. There's nothing like a goddamn Royals game, chat. Especially if you go and you partake in legal activities over the age of 21. So getting hammered at a goddamn Royals game is pretty fucking fun. Especially
Yeah,
even if they suck, you're still having a good goddamn time on third base line, fucking getting rowdy as shit. Um, it's
uh,
baseball is my first love, and then I played football. Um, I loved football, but I wasn't. My knee was really fucking up everything, so I quit. And I think my sophomore year I stopped playing sports in general because I wasn't going anywhere with it. Um,
no reason to tear your body up.
yeah.
I had a scholarship for wrestling, like a partial.
Mhm.
Nowhere, I think it was North Dakota State.
It's tough, bro. I don't.
Which
You know.
did so. My actual favorite memory of wrestling would have been my sophomore year. Well, technically junior year, but my sophomore year, I tore my ACL and my meniscus in a
Ooh.
wrestling match. Actually, yeah, I tore them
Oh.
both. And the next year, like I recovered so well, and like pushed myself so hard, I still got all state or uh all state wrestler like my fucking junior year. So like recovered, came back, just shows like whatever you put in effort, dude. Anything's possible. So
Oh yeah.
always
Um.
chase your dreams, man.
I.
Wrestling was just my dad just taught. My brother was the same way. He went all state all 4 years. He had the easiest weight class of his life, though. I swear to God,
Yeah.
bro. He wrestled 125
Oh, this is a
from
small
freshman
bastard.
to senior.
It's a small bastard.
He's been out of high school for like 2 years now. He graduated in 2019. Okay.
Oh, okay.
He's 6'1", and I think he
A
might have
hundred and
just broke.
25 pounds at 6'1".
No, he's just now 6'1".
Oh.
He was shorter on high. So now he's been out of high school since 2019. He's 6'1" now, and I think he might have just broke like 150 pounds. Maybe. Yeah. He's a
Man.
scrawny little guy, dude.
Them little scrawny,
Scrappy
them
though.
little skinny,
Definitely
them
scrappy.
little skinny short motherfuckers are assholes. If you
Well,
wrestle at 125, you're a fucking asshole. Because
uh, Tucker.
I cannot stress enough. There's this little 125er we had at school, bro. And I had to wrestle him like every other fucking week for practice, and this motherfucker was a pain in my fucking ass. And he's a
My brother was my hardest wrestling match in my life. All the time. We never actually had to wrestle each other, but like practice because you gotta. He knows how I wrestle. I know how he
Oh
wrestles.
yeah.
So it's kind of a stalemate. And he might have been small, dude, but he is the scrappiest kid you'd ever meet.
Well, uh, 50, I appreciate you coming on the pod, man. I look forward to having you again. Um,
Absolutely.
we're gonna be trying to do this every week.
I'm down.
Hopefully, people stay consistent with schedule, and um, you know, anybody's welcome. I'll come in here and talk about anything you want, sports wise. Even if it's golf, I don't know shit about golf. I just know Tiger Woods is the goat. Um, you know, I had a really good fun time doing this. I actually love talking about sports. It's my favorite thing.
Me too.
Um, so with that, peace, love, positivity. Talk to me. I've talked to you all. Check out the rest of the channel. Check out the videos. Check out 50's Twitch. I'll link it in the bio. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow the Twitch. Follow his Twitch. With that, like I said, peace, love, positive. Talk to me. I've talked to you all. Check up on your loved ones. Give somebody a donation of $1 or something like that. Go to your favorite charity. 50. Got anything else to send off with?
Don't make somebody smile, guys. Have a good night.
Hell, motherfucking yeah. Give her a tug chat. I will see you tomorrow on YouTube. See you on the video.
See you later, man.